So we got rumors in the house.
Hello.
So do you guys feel weird? Does it feel weird to like have a mic on?
Yeah.
You're all nice and relaxed and making goofy ass noises, and now like we're
Yeah.
live, and you're like, "Ugh."
I don't want to screw up his recording.
Not my recording. This is our recording.
Our recording.
Yeah. There's no expectations here. So what do you want to? So what do you guys want to start off with? Politics or religion?
Neither.
Both. Let's
Check,
talk about how they.
please.
Let's merge it back
intertwine.
together, like like the United Kingdom. back
In
in
God
the day.
we trust. That was
Just make me the
sarcasm.
president.
We shouldn't even go there.
What'd you say?
Just make me the president.
That's
Oh.
a great idea.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works. It is make people presidents.
Exactly.
I don't want to be. Well, that's what you drew out of the hat. So yeah, you're president.
Sorry, your job now.
You ever seen that episode of Family Guy where it was like Y2K episode and everything ended up going badly and there was like a nuclear war, or not nuclear, but like nuclear bombs went off and it was post-apocalyptic. It was like one of the first season type of shit.
think I've seen that.
I don't know
And
if I
and
have.
then they ended up building their own city near a Twinkie factory because it was like the only source of food because Twinkies can survive anything. And then they had to draw what they did, in the community from a hat.
Okay.
And there's one guy, he's like, well, I was a doctor back in the old days. Well, that's amazing. Let's hope you get it. Oh, nope, town drunk. Sorry. So,
Oh,
anyhow,
how unfortunate.
maybe. Or maybe he was a good town drunk or a terrible doctor. So,
A terrible doctor might make a great town drunk.
yeah, I think so.
In House, the town drunk is the great doctor.
Well, the town pillhead.
I thought he was a drunk too, though.
Was it? I don't remember. I'm actually watching that.
He's definitely
right
an addict. We'll just
Yeah.
hit that right there.
I'm watching House right now.
I haven't watched it in
I've watched
years,
like
so.
5 episodes in the past like week and a half, but I'm trying to get back
It's
into
coming
it.
quick,
It's a
yeah.
great fucking show.
It really is. It is a great.
I like
great
those
show.
reset shows like Twilight Zone and shit like that, like where you new episode. It's like there's not too much. You don't carry on
Right,
previous
I see what you're
stories.
saying,
It just
yeah.
continues
Just a
on.
new episode. Yeah, those are kind of fun because you don't always know what to expect. You don't look back to the last episode like, oh, what's
I
gonna happen to
miss?
Becky this time?
Fucking Becky.
It's always a Becky.
Well, anyway, that was fun. Sorry, I'm still adjusting things.
No, you're good.
All right. So,
Well, what do you normally
Hi.
talk about? On
hi
your
guys.
show?
Where are you guys playing at? Anywhere
Well-
in recent times?
We've got actually two. I forgot about that. 2 booked shows in the relatively near future. Was it March 14th? March 14th in Troy, Ohio. Troy, Ohio.
Where at?
It's the Moeller Brew Barn.
The Moeller Brew. I never heard of it.
It's
I don't even know where Troy, Ohio
There's
is.
actually like 2 of them now. They have a little chain going on now, and it's built inside of an old church. I think it's built inside an old church, and yeah. we were. It's actually kind of a funny story
Oh my.
how we.
It's actually
came
on
into this
March
gig.
18th.
March
it's a
18th.
Thursday
Thursday, March 18th,
from 8 to 10.
8 to 10. It's only 2 hours. Anyway,
Might want to mark that on your calendar, Joe.
she's got the calendar.
He's gonna show up March 14th. Like, where the hell is everybody?
No, because we ride together.
There'll be some other band. They're like, you took my spot.
We have a festival.
Yeah, we do. It's in July, June, something like
It
that.
is April
I'm not good at this.
30th to May 2nd.
Oh, not even
The Fadeaway Festival.
Fadeaway Festival.
Where's that at?
In Crooksville, Ohio.
Where? I don't know.
And
any of these places.
Do you know Brandon Blagg? And then I think Kyle Browning has something a little bit to do with it. He's playing.
Jared is playing there. They have a lot of talent.
There's a lot of acts on the roster, if you will. I almost said schedule, but there's not quite one yet. But it's looking to be like a kind of a big mishmash of all sorts of different musical talent. There's, I believe, probably some dance music.
Live painters.
Live painters, fire people who play with fire.
Fire
Yes,
people?
Fire
Fire people.
people.
I love fire people.
Firebenders.
Flow performers, comedians.
So is that like a weekend thing?
Yes.
You guys have like one spot, or do you? reoccurring.
As far as we know, it's just one spot, but we haven't. I actually was just talking to Brandon, I think is his name. I'm just terrible at that, because I see the Facebook name Brandon Black.
That's what I call him.
Yeah, Brandon, because that's his stage name. So I was just talking to him about hopefully getting a schedule. He says they're still working together, but with a huge list of people like that, I'm sure it takes a little time to organize who's playing when, how long. Yeah, I've never done it myself to that extent. So
It's free camping also.
free camping. Yes.
Free
nice.
admission, free camping.
Yeah, it's a whole free event actually. I forgot to mention that. That's probably pretty important. But they put it on, I think, just more or less for the.
So is it on private property? Did you say that?
I believe it's on private property.
Okay.
I believe it's a friend of theirs.
That'd be the only way it makes sense to be free. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hippie Dave Productions and Sludge Entertainment presents Fade Away Festival.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. Do you guys have a calendar on your page or something that, like, if people wanted to check out your
We have
gigs,
our,
they can go there?
we have our events listed, I believe, on events tab of our page. But I
And
don't
we
think it's
share 'em.
particularly a calendar. But other than that, and yeah, we do keep it updated. As far as we try and keep posting, keep relevant, let people know we're still, out there and looking too, because
Right.
we are still always booking. But yeah, I mean, right now it's only 2 on the list. We've
You said there was a... Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. My
You're
bad.
fine. No, you probably have a better point than I do.
No, I don't have a point. I just had a question. You said there was an interesting story about the Troy gig.
Oh my! I don't know if we want to even talk about that.
Do you know a gentleman?
You're the one that brought it up.
Oh,
Well, I do
man.
want to talk about it, though. I don't feel like there could be any bad me bringing light to a situation. It's a true story. It happened to me. So that gentleman,
We'll just
Just
call
call
him
him-
Frank.
really? Okay. I was going to go by his first name only, but all right.
It's a pretty,
I don't think anyone knows him.
I don't know.
Do I need
It's
to press
pretty
pause?
important.
If you want to know who this person is, then you might want to. We can tell you later, though. We'll call him Frank. Frank, he got a hold of us actually as in the. I'm gonna say guys because I don't truly think his intentions are too pure. I don't know though. He said he was a booking agent. He wanted to book musicians into Columbus, more or less like the northwest Columbus type area, but he was like, I want to branch out, and he kind of rambled a lot in his messages, and I even called him because I didn't want to really start business with a gentleman who
Through message.
yeah through just a message. So he got a hold of us through Messenger. Actually, I think he got a hold of just her 1st, wasn't it?
Yes.
And
Sounds like it's the way to go. She's the only one that knows what dates are available.
You can. My phone number's on there, but some people seem to skip me over. I don't know. No. Yeah, she's definitely the one you probably want to get hold of.
Yeah.
But no, we started in contact, and his deal was for, what was it, 10%? Did he say?
I believe so.
Yeah, he said 10%. He said 10% of whatever you make on the gig, is all I want. And I was like, it's not. That doesn't sound bad.
If you get us booked, we were like, okay.
Yeah, if he's providing
then
bookings, 10%.
10% of what? Like
of
Whatever we made at
whatever
the
they
gigs.
paid.
whatever. Like, is he the one that decides to pay?
He was very vague about it.
That's why we have
From
these feelings.
we met him. We decided to meet him, sit down at a bar. He said one of the bars he's trying to book out. I don't remember what it's called at this point, but that's just because I'm not good at that. But it's out around Troy. I don't think it's in Troy though. It's that area. And we met him there, and he was, I don't know. He had a book, and he had like some cities written down in it, and nothing else though.
Just a list of cities.
And it kind of it started to look like to me that he was either very new or just not really in this business, because
Well, to
started
me,
talking-
it seemed like as soon as he saw us, he was like surprised we showed up.
yeah. He started talking. He's rambling. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'd like to get you booked in here," and he's like talking about the bar we're sitting in. He flags down the bartender, the bar, to get the owner. The owner finally comes up, and she kind of almost seems like why
Here
am I
we go
taking time to
again.
talk to these people? Noel, what are we, or Frank, Lord. See, that's why the Frank.
Just FYI, I will not be editing this podcast.
Oh
Thank you.
no.
No,
It's all right.
It's just gonna. I'm stopping and then putting it right on
It's all right.
the tubes of you.
I can't wait. No, Frank.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have even guessed his name, but
I don't even know. I didn't even hear what name you said, so it's all right. So
it's probably not even discernible from what else I was saying. But no, and he just sounded like he was rambling, and she seemed a little like, this is odd. You know, why are you taking my time to do this? You know, they were busy. There was a bunch of people in the bar, and slash restaurant, I think.
Brewery, I think.
So, you know, we kind of left the meeting. We're a little skeptical at that point. And then he got back to us a few days later and said, I have a booking for you. You know, I was like, wow, you know, cool. This place in Troy, Ohio, 3 hours, $300, you know, which is about what we were talking about, you know.
yeah, that's good pay.
Yeah, and he's like, you know, giving me the details, told me the bar, you know, the bar owner's name, email address, phone number, all this, and he's kind of like hinting at we need to talk to them, and I'm like, okay, well, do we need to talk to these people too? So he's like, no, you know, he's like, just let me know you're good for this day. And I was like, okay, we're good for the day, and I made sure in the message I said, no, I just want to be clear. I said, you said your pay is 10% of whatever it is, you know. So I was like, 10% of $300. I was like, that's $30. And
Right.
he's like, well, let's do the math. Exact words. He said, let's do the math. $50 sounds fair. And I'm like, $50 doesn't sound unfair. You know, there's something wrong. You know, but that's not the deal.
Keep my opinion to myself.
I actually welcome your opinion.
We always welcome your opinion.
But I told him, I was like, well, I said, if you do the math, I even sent him a Google screenshot of like percentages. Just because I'm mildly petty, maybe. I don't know.
Well, the guy said 10%.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
the way. That's the way I look at it.
If he underballed
That's his own problem.
himself, that's his problem.
So I mean, I kind of told him, and at that point I called him because I wasn't trying to message, and I said straight up, I was like, I don't know if you're trying to leech off of local musicians. I don't know what your aim is here or your angle. I was like, but I don't think I really want to work with you, you know. And he's like, oh, so you want me to cancel this gig? I was like, if you need to cancel the gig, I was like, go ahead and cancel the gig. Well, I ended up calling her actually to apologize, you know, because he had already booked this gig. So I called this lady to apologize and say, hey, I'm sorry about the misunderstanding. I said, you know, we had noticed some red flags while starting to work with this guy. We decided to cut off our business with him. I was like, I just want, you know, you to know that we're sorry, you know. And she's like, yeah, you know, I saw some red flags with him too. And basically took our information, eventually got a hold of us, and, you know, we're going to play a gig out there for her. And you know, we're pretty excited, actually, because we've been looking to expand. So
Yeah, that's good. That's smart of you to contact. That was very that kind act. Obviously worked out for you.
Yeah, and I was, you know, obviously, I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking hopefully maybe it'll work that way, but, you know, then again, I also don't want our name to be, you know, I don't want him to take our name and give it to just one bar owner and say, oh, they don't, you know, they don't want to work with you or whatever. I don't know what he said, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So I definitely want to make sure.
Rumors are being difficult.
Right?
Exactly.
We're difficult.
And it's, you know, it's not really that. We're just trying to be safe, you know.
Yeah.
Frank was
Okay, I gotta know what his real name is. Hold on one second. All right, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
You know what? He name dropped some people, and I actually messaged them and was like, "Give me the tea."
yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Don't."
I don't know him
do it."
personally or anything like that. I know the name, but yeah, I muted the microphone for anybody listening because, you know, we all want to be professional here.
Yeah. As
well,
much as possible.
You know, when I had people, I had a couple people that would book me, you know, like just like that. They would, you know, take a % or whatever. I never knew what that was. You know, they asked me what I wanted to get paid,
That makes more sense.
and I would told them, well, this is what I want to get paid. Whatever they booked that for, they could have been winning
Right.
out. They could have gotten paid more than I did.
Yeah.
For all I fucking know, but I was happy with what I got. You know,
It's probably
I
better
never
not-
I never
It's
questioned.
better not knowing.
better not knowing.
Yeah, I just never questioned it. You know, it's like, well, I want to get paid this amount. Okay, then we'll we'll do it for that amount. And he like they even had me set up on like holiday pay. Like if it was a holiday gig, I'd get extra money.
Oh, wow.
He had a whole contract set up for me. If they canceled the day of, after 12, after noon, then I still got paid. They had a whole setup for me. The guy was really, his name was
Pauses and
Chad Greenwald or Greenwald. I don't know. I can't remember. He's in a band called Zack Attack. Really cool dude.
I think I've heard of that.
Well, also Zack Attack is the name of the band in Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah, that might be it.
it's a good chance that's where that came from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
obviously,
that's
they're a
definitely
'90s cover band sort of thing. Late '80s. Early 90s.
I love that.
Yeah,
Definitely checking that out.
Yes.
well, yeah, more like 50. Like, dude, shut up. What are you talking about, man? More like 50. You said 10%.
It was I laughed a lot.
It's weird when
Yeah.
there could be a situation where he might be new at this, and he's kind of like,
To be honest, I asked him that. Before I ended up calling him, it was one of the messages that came up when I was like explaining to him how percentages work. I ain't no mathematician, but Lord. And I was like, man, I don't know how long you've been doing this. I was like, but percentages are percentages, and you said 10%, and he's like, oh, I've been doing this. I think he said like 4 something a year. So I'm like,
Yeah, that sounds
I was
right.
like, well, regardless, I was like, I can't tell that you've been doing it that long. I was like, and at that point, I think is when I decided to call him. But oh, Frankie.
And just to clarify, Frank is a fake name that they're using. I don't want anyone to confuse.
There's no
Frank
actual
Harrison
Frank.
out there. Trying to.
Yeah, who's Frank Harrison? Is he a nice
Frank
guy?
Harrison, yeah, Frank Harrison Sr. is a Columbus guitar player.
Okay, yeah. Definitely
He's been
confuse.
in Columbus for 40 years. His son, Frank Harrison Jr.,
Okay.
amazing vocalist.
We'll have to look into that too.
He's,
Right? We're learning all kinds
yeah.
of stuff.
Anyhow,
Add him on the book.
so you guys are playing in Troy on March 18th,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
which is a Thursday.
Yeah.
What time?
8 to 10.
8 to 10.
See, I got that detail.
Oh, 8 to 10, so 2 hours. You guys still, not that I'm going to dive into how much you're getting paid, but you still getting the same rate?
I don't remember. It's in
It's in the
It's in an
email.
email. So
Bonnie,
it's not-
please
it's not
start handling the booking.
lost. She does usually. It's
yeah.
saved in there. It is there. It might not be in there, but it is in there.
Like,
When I
listen
hand-
here, lady, you owe me, and start flipping through your emails.
I do that before that conversation happens, unless she's drunk. No, I'm just kidding. No.
So you guys kind of like, we've known each other for, 4 years now?
Yeah.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
I think coincidentally, I've technically known you a little longer. I think I told you at the time. I think I met you out at an open mic around here, Thornport or something like that. And I've met you with a buddy, River, and we played you. I'm pretty sure it was you. We played you open mic and talked to you afterwards, and forgot your name the next day. Never got to look you up on Facebook or anything.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I didn't forget you.
I
Muddy
hate to
Creek
hate to-
Saloon, right?
Yep.
And then I found you again at the Muddy Creek Saloon, and
You came to Barrel Bar the first time.
I thought I met you at the creek.
At the what?
The
Creek.
creek,
Creek. Yeah.
because you were doing open mics at the creek.
Is that where River came out too?
No, that was man. It was like
You said
it
the
wasn't-
first time you met.
It wasn't at
with
the Barrel
River.
Bar. It was at this side of the lake somewhere. I forget what it's called. Smiley's or something like that. No,
Lucky's?
Mikey's maybe. They had a food truck outside. That's all I remember.
Who the fuck had a food truck outside and did an open mic on this side? Like, I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, dude. I mean, maybe it wasn't even you, but I could have swore it was because I think I thought we even had this conversation at one point, but maybe that was in a dream.
Yeah, I was probably drinking whiskey, so I don't remember.
It
I had to
happens.
smile and nod. That's why I don't drink whiskey anymore. So, whiskey was Barrel Bar days,
Yeah,
but
the old days.
But I've known you guys for 4 years, and like, you didn't really perform with each other. Then, like, all of a sudden, you guys were a thing as a duo.
Well, we've known each other.
We've known each other for 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you know each other for a long time, but I don't know. Maybe it's just my perspective of it. Like, I didn't see that merger. It was Joe
storyline
on
that's
stage, it
doing
was
its
Bonnie on
own
stage,
right.
and then all of a sudden, you guys.
We've
were
known
roommates.
each other, and I mean, we've always just been in different spots playing with other people and never had a chance to come together.
Yeah, like passing ships in the night. It's just.
And I was coming out
So
of a
poetic.
band
Thank
and
you.
messaged him and was just like,
Yeah, if perhaps I end up out of this band, would you almost more or less a business venture, like would you be able to take over essentially what we've been doing here, so continue under a new name and our own band, and
Now is
I
that
said, yeah,
is that like a tip of the hat to Fleetwood Mac rumors? Is that
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
actually.
Mildly because of some of the silly drama caused by her last band splitting up.
was that No Turn on Red? Was that
yeah,
yeah?
And that's I don't know, that's a funny story, but that's up to her.
that's a whole nother.
I know that whole
I
story.
think
was
everybody
on
knows that story.
I was on the other end of that.
It's funny. It
was a breakup.
Some people are childish,
Yeah.
But a music relationship is still a relationship, and some people take that probably a little harder than others, But neither here nor there. It's only led to, I think, for the better. We've been together almost a year, just
Yeah, it was
over a year. Excuse me.
Our anniversary was what, the 14th, I think.
14th, I think, yeah, and of being officially a band, and for the record, we had only talked about it for a couple weeks. But yeah.
So do you guys do originals too, or
We do a couple of her originals,
Just mine. Yeah.
but we haven't actually come together to try and write Rumors originals yet. Something we talked about briefly, but haven't headbutted it yet.
so you want to stick more towards cover songs?
Yeah.
I
right.
mean, I've had writer's block for the past 10 years, 8 years.
I'm not much of a writer. I have a lot of unfinished business when it comes to writing, but I think it's something we both aim to do eventually. But I think right now our main focus, being that we're a year into it, is building a repertoire of covers that we can make a name for ourselves with. Because we have a sound, we think we both together have a sound, and I feel like when it comes to doing this, primarily playing locally, I don't know about the big times or nothing, but you really
What's big time?
I guess making more than $100 an hour. I don't know what the big time is. That's why I say that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever made a more.
I don't know if I'd
very
even know
rarely,
if I hit
think
it.
I can count in one hand how many times I've gotten paid more than $100 an hour. That doesn't happen very often. But I'm also not very ambitious.
I mean, we'll take
I will work for food.
as little as we can get.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we have definitely worked for food plenty of times. But
And that's good. You don't being money driven can be a poison.
Money's great, and it's really, 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 really cool when you can do something you absolutely love and make money on the side.
Mm-hmm.
But and if you asked us to play tomorrow for a cheeseburger, we'd probably say
We
yes
would.
if our schedules were open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I love cheese. Oh,
I mean, there's been times where I've turned down gigs for money, but it was more because it was so far. Okay, you want me to drive all the way out there for this amount? I can't do that anymore.
Right.
Yeah, but there's been times where I have, where I've
there's
driven
lines
that far.
though, and then also it depends on what's going down. Do you need that $100 that bad?
That too.
Right.
Yeah,
Do you
there's
have the gas in the tank. Can
yeah.
you
It's
make it?
hey man, I got a gig for $50, and I'm like, I need $50. Okay, can you add a bar tab on there? Okay, I'm out.
You say they have a restaurant.
Yeah, that's the thing I always try to negotiate. When
Bartering is always.
especially when it comes to you're putting an amount up here, that you can guesstimate they're gonna try to shave off $50 to $75 off that, and you combat it with a $25, $30 bar tab, and try to balance it out that way.
It's all about the bargaining.
Yeah, I've known musicians though that will straight up turn down gigs, and not just turn them down, but insult the money. Again, we're not going to name names.
Yeah,
but
me,
I had a guy that I would call, a very
Frank.
popular musician.
Frank?
No, we're not going to use the alias Frank.
That's fair.
Frank's in enough trouble. Damn Frank, trying to book you guys.
Frankie.
But we I would hit them up and be like, hey, can you come out here and, and play for, $250? So I'm not driving out there for $250. Are you fucking kidding? Like, come on, man.
Yikes.
We okay.
You can ask me to play 4 hours for $250.
Let him know. I'm like, hey, why don't you, if you turn out a gig for that amount, why don't you send it my way? Send it my way. And I'll take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Back burner.
I mean, $250 is about average, for a 3-hour show. That's fair, that's a very good price,
That's a really good price.
And I played plenty for a lot less. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when money becomes your primary goal, it can lose its fun, or you can lose your integrity, or people will see through that. There's been times where I think I've pushed that envelope. I'm like, well, that's not enough for me. Then I would have to put myself in the check. Like, wait a minute. Let me see that again. Yeah, okay.
Still money you didn't make.
Right, you got to put yourself in check sometimes.
Yeah,
so.
well, I don't know. I've never lived off of music, but here recently I actually work for myself in another sense. I deliver groceries, which is a very lovely.
Well, you love food, right?
Yeah, I love shopping.
Oh, you're actually shopping and then delivering.
I actually do the shopping.
Is that
shopping, the bagging, the delivering?
Who's that through? What company?
It's Instacart.
Instacart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Aldi's. There's Target, but not around here. Kroger is the big one. It's Big Lots and Spirit of Halloween. That was fun. I got a cowboy hat for gentlemen in college.
Do you get discounts at these places or?
No. Man, that would be great. To be completely honest, this cart doesn't care much for their employees. I don't even mind saying that right.
I hope they don't hear this.
I don't care.
Trust me, I'll be very surprised if they're if they're one of the 20 people that listen to my
if this
podcast.
Even if this blows up in their face, don't care. It's my employment there or almost anywhere doesn't mean that much to me. I'm a human being on this earth, and you can't change that. But no, they don't. They pay you $7 for a gig, or I call it a gig because I'm a musician.
I call it all sorts of work gigs. Yeah.
Yeah. There's another app that actually does it. Actually, it's called Roadie, and it's kind of the same deal, but they call them gigs, and that's probably where I got that more or less. But no, they're $7, and it could be it could be 2 miles, which is a really small run, but it could also be 10 miles for that same $7. And then it could be 2 items. Or
you say $7, that's per run.
Yeah, man. And now that's not counting a tip from a customer, but that's not even obligatory. And you know what? On their app, they actually suggest a 5% tip for customers. They tell the customers 5% is all you need to give these assholes. All we're doing is give them $7.
I'm gonna squish your bread.
But I've actually never been on that side of the app, which is probably something I should do. I think it would give me a little better understanding, but when I hear I'm on some groups and stuff that they talk and they share that on the other side of the app 5% is suggested tip. I'm like, well, that seems a little low for most delivery drivers. On a W-2 are making like $5, $6, $7 an hour plus tips. So they're living off tips, and that's recommended.
Well, how long does it take you usually to do a trip?
Well, a short trip. Let's say, I don't know. I think a good average is probably about somewhere like 25 items, 20, 25 items. And takes me to shop that probably, 25, 30 minutes, counting because you have to go through the line. You can't do checkout or nothing like that. You got to have the employee scan your phone. Is a barcode associated, so, and they scan each item to kind of make sure everything's copacetic and whatnot. But, about 20, probably 25 minutes, 30 minutes tops to get through all that and shopping. And if I don't have issues, either replacing an item.
Whatever X factors happen, yeah.
Plenty of them. Because there's plenty. But and then the drive, average. I like to stick with the smaller ones. You make more money doing a smaller order, because you're wasting less time, and more you can do. Because like I said, they don't often pay much. Sometimes you get a little extra for if it's got a thing of water, a case of water, they call it heavy pay, and it's a couple extra bucks, But
heavy pay sounds metal. Got you some heavy pay, dude. Yeah. So essentially, you're getting less than minimum wage. If an average trip like a 20-minute shopping spree plus whatever, drive time. So you're at like 45 to an hour.
Yeah, I mean, in all reality, when it comes down to it, I even look at it this way sometimes. I can usually get most average orders done within around an hour. But some of them take a little longer. 'Cause if I have to, which I also, like I said, try not to go for those big ones. Try and be smart about it. For 60, 70, 100 items, somebody's doing a big grocery shopping trip. And having it delivered to
Fuck, do Uber. Be an Uber driver. They need that out here. I've tried getting Uber out here so many times. I can't fucking do it.
Yeah, go ahead and pause that.
Wow, and so you showed it to her, and she just laughed at you? Wow.
You wish, Stevie. That's not what we were talking about.
There's a lot of behind the scenes gossip going on here. I've never even used that button on any other podcast before.
Broke our record. Well,
but by the way, if you guys need to take a break for anything, just let me know, and I'll just pause the whole thing. So
thanks.
I think the only time I didn't take a break was with Reese Jordan, and we were in here for almost 4 hours straight.
I listened to that.
Yeah, we were both talking about that on the ride. We both listened to. I listened to about I don't listen to all of it. I listened to probably about an hour or so of it.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to sit and listen. To be honest, to people talking sometimes it's just I'm kind of ADD. But no, I listened to a good hour of it. And you guys seem like you had a really good conversation going on.
Yeah, it went on.
Talk,
Well, I think with him it was like I felt bad. Like I didn't try to force this story out, and I made a little joke. Oh, what's your bad story? But then he kind of unloaded. I'm like, oh, okay, and I was like, I felt like I told him later. I'm like, hey, I wasn't trying to push for you to tell that stuff, because later on, if you get into hour 4, we start talking about quantum physics and all this other different shit, and how electrons and protons and how that can relate to what happened in the Bible, and it went a little different route. Wow. And I think he was more interested in talking about that. And I felt bad, like he'd spent 3 hours talking about his story, but he's got a great story, so I'm glad it's out there for other people to listen to.
He's an amazing person.
I think
I always forget how tall he is.
He's a huge guy.
I always remember he's big, but then every time I see him, I always forget I have to look up a lot.
I went to high school with his son. And his son is, like I said, he went to high school, about my age. Yeah. He's just about as big as his dad. I mean, he's probably a little, maybe even taller than his dad.
I met his son in an Uber.
He's a big dude, and I think, and like he said on his, his whole family's that way. He's the smallest. I think he said he's the shortest.
Yeah, he said he's the shortest in his family.
But no, Reese is great, and I mean, I think I speak for both of us. We both kind of coming up 10 years now for me, and 11 years now in this local music scene. We've been watching Reese the whole time. Reese, and he mentioned Jesse and a few others. I look up to Jesse. I used to actually best friends with Jesse's little brother and
Winkler.
Yeah, Winkler.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Jesse Winkler, I wouldn't even be in the music scene.
Yeah, I mean,
he's such a great dude, and he'd be so pissed off at me if he came into the studio, because he hates that fucking movie, Batman v Superman, and it's one of my favorite movies. I even got the three vinyl soundtrack. I can see him getting in a debate on that one.
I had never played
out. Him in here.
I'd never played out by myself before I went to an open mic that Jesse ran, and I was really scared. And he said, "Just get up and do it. Just get up and do it." And I was like, "Okay." I got up and I played, and I got down off the stage, and he's like, "Why were you nervous?"
Yeah, it sounds like Jesse. He'll call it like it is.
He's such a cool guy. And Reese is as you said, an amazing guy. I've known. I can't say that I've known Reese, but I met Reese 10 something years ago, probably even longer, 12 years ago. I can't. 2008, something like that. Just by passing. He actually, I think he came out to one of my open mics, one of my first open mic that I ever ran in Columbus, a place called CBR's, which isn't there anymore, but it was in the CD 101 building. Anyhow, but
92.9.
What's that?
You mean CD90?
Yeah, whatever it is now. But he's just got a great story. He's got a great outlook. You know, very very positive, and to hear a story, you understand why he has that outlook on life. You know,
he's been through and done a lot.
did you guys get to the part of the podcast where he talked about his dad being on Oprah?
No.
Yeah, his dad is a Louis Armstrong vocalist. Like he does Louis Armstrong, and he was on Oprah. And he was in jail. He was in Folsom Prison for like 30 years.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I knew he had said he had some drug issues out in California. So.
Yeah. But we looked it up on YouTube and watched it on there. His dad on Oprah.
I'm gonna have to dig deeper into Reese's interview with you because it sounds a little more interesting than it had been. You know, I mean, I was listening to it.
Yeah,
pretty
I kind of wrapped it up pretty quick at the end there because I was literally about to pee my pants. Yeah, it's pinching the tip there, and I was like,
I wish you could see me. No.
well, that's the goal, is to get cameras in here eventually.
Oh, no.
Oh Lord!
Don't tell anybody they're in here.
Yeah.
Just
Well, I haven't told you they're in here, so.
Oh, that's funny.
So, yeah, but the Jesse Winkler, if
it weren't for him, I don't think either of us would be in
Right.
music. I remember watching him at a cafe, the first place I ever played live, Twilight Cafe. It's downtown Newark, Highland Square. Last place to be in the building was a popcorn place. It's right there.
is it still there?
No, the cafe was a short-lived place. It was only open for 2-3 years.
Like where at in the square?
Fifth, or not fifth, but second, and well, I don't know what you call that. That other, you know, but basically, you know where the Wendy's is?
No.
Okay, you're not super familiar with Newark, though.
No, I just know where the Barrel and Boar is.
It's on the south side of the square.
well,
the
okay,
corner.
Barrel's here. That's here. Twilight's down there, so you like
okay.
go down
It's just around the corner.
and like where the McDonald's was.
Yeah,
and you
okay.
Go up and
in
it's on the
between where
corner.
the Mickey D's and the Wendy's is. So
Yeah.
we used to go down there when I was probably freshman in high school, somewhere of my freshman year, I think. That's when that all started, and Jesse'd be playing, and some other people would be playing, and Jesse's little brother, who was, like I said, like my best friend, we used to be at his house all the time. That's kind of how I knew Jesse and all that. You know, he started kind of picking up the guitar, and I was like, well, damn, you know, I've always been a singer. I've always been in choir since I was a kid, you know. And I was like, well, why can't I, you know, learn a little guitar so I can sing, you know, and you know, show these people I can sing better than them. But no, I'm
Cocky
fuck. A little bit. But you know, but in all reality, if it weren't for watching Jesse play, you know, with his guitar behind his back playing Jim Croce's "Time in a Bottle," if it weren't for stuff like that, I probably wouldn't be, you know, playing in a band with Bonnie here, you know.
That's cool. That's cool that you guys can, you know, not only remember who, you know, inspired you to keep going or actually get on stage for the first time, but that person's still, you know, some sort of involved. And
Yeah, absolutely.
you know,
I guess I can't really say for the first time. I guess for the first time by myself, because I've been. My dad says I've been singing since before I could talk. So, my dad's a musician.
that was
so.
probably crying. You
No.
just cried in pitch.
Yeah.
You're like,
Perfect pitch. I mean, we can ask
I can
him.
believe it, yeah. I can believe that. Oh Lord.
Yeah, my dad's a musician, so that's where I.
does he still play?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he started. I think he started playing guitar when he was 16, and he just turned 60.
Wow.
And he's been chugging
I
along.
hope to still be playing at 60 if I'm not dead. But
60's not that old. Jeez Louise.
we'll see.
Right?
We'll see.
Look at
We'll see.
him.
We'll see.
I mean, he falls over a lot though.
Stick him in a chair, he'll pick like the rest. you know?
Right.
Yeah, so like does he play out actively or is
Oh yeah, he's
Saturday.
in a bluegrass band that's called Poacious, and is in a southern rock band called Fork in the Road.
Fork in the Road?
Very
Yeah.
active.
So
Yeah,
is that
he plays
country
Saturday.
then or?
They're southern rock.
So did you say that? I'm sorry, I remember now.
Yeah.
I think Southern rock is that not country?
It's like if you took it's like Leonard Skinner. Just put, I think that's the easiest way to do that. It's like Leonard Skinner. It's like country and rock.
Stones,
Rolling Stones isn't really Southern rock because they're
Right.
technically English. But I mean, they take a lot. Rolling Stones take a lot.
They're
of sound
they're
from,
Eastern rock
Yeah.
or Western, depending which way you fly.
I love the globe. Flat Earth can suck it.
Have you heard the Pac-Man theory?
No.
Because if you go west, you go around the globe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can come back. If you keep going west, or same thing with east. They have the Pac-Man theory to explain how you can leave in one direction, keep going that direction, and show back up in the same place. Like Pac-Man, when he goes through one side of the screen, like he goes through here and then he goes off the screen, he just comes back.
The others, yeah.
Yeah, that's the Pac-Man theory for flat earthers. I think that whole thing's a sham, by the way.
You don't think there actually are people who believe that?
No, I don't. I
I've never
think
met one.
they're a collection of people that have meetings that sit there and go, okay, what can we do to make people think we still believe this?
I honestly, I kind of agree with you there because I have never met someone who has truthfully looked me in the face and said, "Yeah, I don't believe that the Earth is round. I believe it's a flat piece."
Oh, I know a musician who does.
What was that?
I know a musician
Frank?
We've got to stop.
who. We got to stop using that name. I know too many Franks that might get
just-
triggered by this podcast.
We're just gonna start calling him or euphemism for people now. I don't know. We have to do something.
But I don't know if she's serious or not. But her name is Beck, B-E-C, like Salvius. I can't remember her last name. I'm going to look it up here in a second. But yeah, and she's a flat earther. At least she comes across that way. But she also you can jab at her a little bit, and she'll joke with you. But I don't know if I believe these people at all.
I feel like if you were to outrightly tell someone you believe something so outlandish, you'd have to be very humorous, but you'd have to be able to take a joke, because if not, you're going to be in a lot of fights.
Yeah.
Because you're wrong.
Let me see if I can find her here.
But
Let's see. Bag. No, I can't find her. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, flat earthers, I think you all are full of shit. I don't believe a word that you say. I think they send their friends out there hey, tell Dell to build a fucking rocket. These people think we're bullshitting him again. He's going to prove. That's another thing.
lots of air quotes.
That's another thing. They're trying to prove the Earth is flat by building a janky ass rocket to go into the air for I don't know how high they expect to go, but they won't believe NASA, who's constantly sends rockets out, with
Onto other round objects.
right with cameras, HD cameras facing back at this Earth that you can see it's around. I don't know, whatever. Fucking
Yeah, I've
bullshit
watched
liars.
it, a lot, being that, the Earth is round,
You guys want a drink?
Yeah, actually, if you wouldn't mind handing my OJ and gin.
Oh, Tanqueray. Very
Yes,
nice.
sir. I am a gin drinker.
Me too. That's what I've settled on in my older age is gin.
Oh, Lord, I wonder if I'll ever change.
No, thank
I
you.
have Michelob Ultra or seltzer.
Thanks. I have an
Seltzer.
Arizona.
Is it Trilly?
No.
Oh,
So, Bud Light Platinum Seltzer,
that looks fancy as hell.
8%.
Shit.
Which I'm not gonna indulge in at this moment.
Get you fucked up.
I'm gonna stick to the Michelob Ultra for now. Maybe as that bottle of gin wears down, I'll start hitting the heavier stuff.
Oh, I don't intend to go too heavy here.
Oh, and I'm going
That's
to
what
add
they
that
all
my
say.
mom's also a musician. Well, a singer.
Oh yeah.
And she just recorded a song with her fiance, Kevin Smith,
He's also a musician.
who is also a musician.
Wait, is this the Kevin Smith that I know?
Yeah. The
And
cowboy?
that's her cousin, you said?
No, that's going to be her husband.
Wait, his girlfriend is your mom?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I've met your mom.
Lori?
I mean, I guess.
Have you met Lori?
Yeah.
She couldn't hear a word you said?
What?
She couldn't hear a word you said.
Yeah, I know Kevin.
Yeah, that's
I've asked him to play my
going
breaks
to be
before
my
at my gigs.
bonus dad.
Bonus score.
Yeah. So yeah, you've met my mom.
Weird. That's weird. So does your mom? Obviously your mom and dad aren't together. Have they not been together for a long time?
Yeah, they. I mean, since I don't know, it's 10 months old, I think.
Oh. Man, that's like me.
Yeah, my dad.
We're similar.
I lived with my dad, but I visit my mom every other weekend in Newark. So I've been around the Newark area, but it was every other weekend, hang with siblings type experience until I moved up. Well, I moved to Thornville in 2012, like March of 2012.
How big is Thornville?
Not very big. I mean,
I'm actually somewhat always a little confused as what's Thornville and what's Thornport.
Thornport is past the port.
It's like in between Millersport and Thornville.
No, Thornport's right there. It's literally across
south.
the street. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's literally across the street. So.
The fuck is Thornport then? Are they just like?
Well, I'm trying to figure out where the fuck Thornville is because every time I think I'm in fucking Thornville, everyone tells me I'm in Thornport. You know, like I live in Thornville. My address is Thornville, but apparently I just thought my neighborhood's Thornville and that's it. But my boss apparently we're gonna have a job out here in Thornville, which is good because I actually work in Westerville.
oh,
So like it's a 45-minute drive every
Yeah.
fucking day.
Shorter drive.
Yeah, like I'll get out of the shower and clock in. You know, because I'm gonna have all the stuff here. So like, as soon as I walk out the door, I'm at work. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice, however long I'm on this job, 3 weeks, month. Maybe I'll try to stretch it out longer here. Yeah. Not really,
Your
boss. Don't fire me.
Someone's boss listens to their podcast.
Let's hope not. If so, then we're both getting fired.
Questions in the morning.
But
We can fire me. But I don't know. Musician, actually, I don't. My dad's not. I mean, my dad's a singer, but I think my dad abandoned his. If you're listening, you know it's true. I think he abandoned his musical hopes and dreams a lot younger. Well, I haven't yet, and I don't intend to. But a lot longer than younger than I did, and I don't. He said he was in some bands when he was younger, but I think, thinking about it, he was probably in his mid-20s when my brother was born. So
he chose Family Guy.
I think he had to choose Family Guy.
I have met your dad, right?
Oh, you might have.
I went to your house when you were carving pumpkins. Went to his house.
I don't know. Yeah, I think so once. Yeah. Yes, one time. I remember that.
I was partaking in
some.
I was buying some plants off you. Yeah.
I always had some around.
cactuses.
No, so where was I? No.
Cacti.
My dad, yeah. He I think he was forced to not really settle down because he couldn't. I don't feel like we call it settle down. When my dad and my mom split up, my mother, whom I don't really know. I can't claim to know her. I've met her other than being born and probably I was maybe a year or so old when they split. Other than that, and then I've met her once or twice. Little, a trip down north because she's in North Carolina, and that's where they lived. That's where they got together. That's where they were married and blah blah blah, and had me and my brother. One day, my dad was on the road. He used to work with his father's company, building large metal buildings, basically like the type of building like the hangar is made out of.
Yeah.
They used to work on bases a lot. So he traveled across the country doing that, making I would imagine fairly decent money, whatever. And she stayed home with us. Obviously I don't remember this. This has all been told to me. One day she, mental health. Checked herself into a mental health institute for I don't really know. I don't know the true reasons. Like I said, I don't know her. I won't talk to her or nothing. But and then basically left me and my brother with a family friend, whatever. And then my dad had to come home, pick us up, and basically relocated with his parents in Virginia. Virginia. So I mean, past that point, I don't think he really ever got a chance to think about himself. Because he'd think about me and my brother. And he had his parents, and my grandfather died a few years later. About I think I was 5, but he had my grandma to help out. But he never really had a chance to think about music or his hobbies or their love life or anything. He had to work and he had to take care of us, and we moved around a lot. Ended up in New Jersey for a long, long time after Virginia when my grandfather died.
Do you think he'll ever pick it back up?
I don't know. He's always sang and he still sings. He's never really played an instrument or anything. I don't know. I don't think he will. I just don't think he. His voice isn't what it used to be, and I just don't think he has any want anymore for that.
Yeah.
But, it's nothing. I never really talked to him about it. But.
Well, I mean, sometimes that's the best decision, for yourself. For
you had to do what you had to do.
Yeah, like there's, people out there like that will leave music, and other musicians will judge them for it. How can you turn your back on music, or like you said, abandon music? It's like
family's always. I have a son, and I mean, you have a son. Family always comes first. And I think it's just in his situation, he didn't have like that chance to, or that that support to also do like what you and I do, music and parent.
Yeah.
He's not the wealthiest. From what I understand, once my grandfather died, the business died, and back to being poor people. So my dad had to learn just to take care of the family. So who knows if he had could be a rock star. Who knows?
What about you? Do you think you'll ever leave music?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't think it's possible. I don't look at music that way.
Yeah.
You could cut my hands off. You could tear up my vocal cords. I'm going to listen, and I'm going to tap along, with my stubs. It's just, you can't take music away. I'll be like Def Leppard, man.
Just gotta shove
great rhythm.
Shove a stick in that stump and just
be like Bruce Campbell, man. Just no axe, though. Just put me some drumsticks up.
Here's my boomsticks.
Yes, a great movie.
Yeah, I've been dealing with a weird connection with music. I won't even listen to music on the radio anymore. Like,
really?
I listen to all talk, podcasts, stuff like that. And that's new. Like that's just a few months old. Like I
just tired of what music has to offer, or
I just
nothing.
When I hear it, I get cringy. Like I was like, I just don't want to hear it. And there's certain songs I'll hear music and I just like, okay, I like that, but like, I don't know. Like it's so weird because years ago my brother used to try to get me on the talk radio and stuff. I'm like, fuck you, man. I only listen to music all the fucking time. I don't know. I think I think the 3 years that I played music for a living was just, I think it burnt me out, like big time. Like, my guitar, I just kind of stare at it now. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
You can't see my face, but I'm making a really sad face.
Well, it is kind of depressing.
It is. I miss hearing Stevie King.
I enjoy.
I see where you're coming from.
I enjoy.
But, yeah, I get it.
Romanticizing about it, like if I get a gig, like I just booked with Hocking Hills and Papa Booze for the summer, but like, and I think about it, I'm like, yeah, but like when I go to the shows, lately,
it's just working.
Yeah, like there's something.
It feels like a job.
Yeah, something's missing, and I don't know what it is. I'm in a bit of a slump with it. So like when you talk about your dad like leaving it, like I can right now I can kind of relate to that because like
that's fair.
There's a part of me.
I mean, that's
thought about just like severing that. Like I canceled the Stevie Cade, Instagram, and I almost deleted the Stevie Cade music page on Facebook. But I was like, I said I talked myself out of it, but like, because I'm
you can always unpublish it.
Right.
You don't have to delete it.
Right, yeah. And I think I did. I think I did unpublish it. But I think I recently republished it because I wanted to promote something. I don't fucking know.
Promote the gigs you booked.
Well, I think I did it because I unpublished it so people could get a hold of me because I changed my name on Facebook from Stevie to my actual name.
Right.
So
not just Steve anymore.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. It's a weird thing, but like I'm enjoying not performing all the time, and I'm hoping that I can enjoy playing again because I'm taking
Time off.
time away from it.
Hey, I mean, it's, when you turn something to a job, obviously you said for what, 3 years you
Yeah, a little
solely
over 3 years. Yeah,
over 3 years you solely support yourself on music. That's I've never done that. I've dreamed about it. I've thought about it. And but I haven't ever taken that leap to try and do that. And that seems like it'd be pretty hard work to. Just looking at
think
last
of
year
all
we've
that
had.
and the energy that you put into your music and performing. That takes a huge toll on a person.
I
and
could feel
promoting and all that stuff.
And-
There's a lot more that goes. It isn't. A lot of people just think we walk into these bars with a guitar in hand and fucking play. It's not. It's not like that. I know I'm not like a great practicer, but there's practice involved. There's gear involved.
I mean,
there's
we weekly
you book for
practice now.
yourself.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Yes.
try to. But
I mean,
we're both busy people. It's hard to find time to. It's hard
Yeah.
to find time to practice
Yeah.
alone, let alone together. But I don't know. So I can see where you're coming from. There was when my son was first born, I didn't. And a little bit before that, I didn't play out for 3 years, 4 years. Part of that was the relationship I was in, but part of that was because a new child, and I just for a while I thought I'd kind of grown out of the. I'm not gonna be a musician anymore. I'm gonna work on cars. I'm gonna get a real job, and I'm not gonna be a musician. But it's just I realized after a lot of life-changing events, or some life-changing events, that there isn't no you can't just decide you're not a musician anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
you still are. Just it's a weird comparison, but you're still drunk. After you've got clean. That's something my dad always told me, because my dad was an alcoholic, a raging alcoholic, got clean, been clean for over 10 years. He's like, I'm still an alcoholic.
Yeah,
I'm still a drunk.
Yeah, they that's a huge thing in AA.
Yeah,
you're always an addict.
And I know it's
Yeah.
probably a weird comparison to music, but
No,
I mean,
it's not. I don't.
No.
but
I
like you
wouldn't
can't
think so.
just like turn that. You can just say, I'm not a musician anymore. You were, just because you choose not to play doesn't really change that you aren't.
Yeah,
So you've
hopefully.
effectively left music. I mean, in a sense.
Well, you know what though,
like you asked me, would you
Let's-
leave music?
yeah, I
You kind of have.
yeah. Well, I got propelled with COVID.
That's fair.
It did because that's what
But-
what happened. See, what happened was when COVID hit, I was relieved. Like I was like, oh, I don't have to play.
That's probably what you realize.
Yeah, and it was. It kind of like snowballed from there, and I was like kind of freaking out. Okay, let me play online. Send me money. I gotta pay the bills.
Yeah,
and all this stuff. But I don't know. Like every time I got another thing, oh hey, show's canceled. Even though I need the money, I was like, oh thank God.
I don't have to go to that show.
Right, and it had nothing to do with the business. Has nothing to do with the people. It's nothing like that. I don't know how you guys are when you're on stage, but when I'm on stage, I'm in my own little bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll converse with the crowd, but it's really just just an act because I don't really like people.
Yeah,
and
I agree with you there.
And I have to pretend to like
To
people.
put yourself on stage, you kind of have to put yourself in a different world.
Yeah,
least
and
for me,
I always told myself that's who Stevie is. He's that guy on stage. That's who that character is. But like, I don't know. I was just relieved when that happened, and then I got this new job just doing construction or whatever, and it was like nice. It was just relaxing.
Change of pace.
Yeah, I mean, I do miss working for myself. And being my own boss, and and the hours were great because like, and the hours were great because like. I was like free all day. I was pumping out film trigger videos like left and right,
Now you gotta really consolidate your time.
Oh, jeez, yeah, it's a lot different, but it's a nice balance. I think my world was very imbalanced before.
Yeah, I feel like it was all music, and because you had to. It was your world. It was how you provided for you and your family and whatever. So I can see where that get pretty hectic. And that's probably my biggest fear, is because I've definitely thought about trying to jump in and full-time musician, but That's a huge jump to make. And
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's just
A
lot to think
gradual, moving, dipping your foot in the water and seeing if it is what you want to do.
Yeah.
And for me, I forced myself into it. And intentionally and unintentionally. Like I lost my job because I was drinking and driving and I fucking got busted and I went to jail. So when I got out, I'm like, well, now's no better time than ever just to fucking
start playing music.
I didn't even have a board. I didn't even have a fucking microphone. I had nothing. I'm like, I better get this shit. I'm working with Sam at Muddy Creek. I was working for him for free, buying speakers and shit. Like I'll sell you these speakers for 6 open mics. I'm like, okay. That's
good old Sam.
yeah. I was gonna make a Jew joke, but it's 2021. I'm just gonna leave it be.
All right.
Only if Sam was here, I would make that joke.
That's fair. That's fair. I like Sam sometimes.
But I know, all in all, like when it's all said and done, I'm happy that I can say that I did that for that amount of time. No matter what the outcome is. No matter if I find that balance where I'm happy again, being on stage, or if I never play fucking again, then whatever. I'll be happy that I gave it a shot. I can say that I did that.
I would say you accomplished. I mean, from my perspective, I'd say you accomplished being a full-time musician. I mean, your bills are paid. You had a house. I didn't see you out there waving the homeless sign. So
Well, I did. I was waving homeless sign. It says tips, and it pointed to my guitar case. That was my homeless sign.
But there's a line there.
Yeah.
There's a difference. You were providing a service.
Yeah. I know. I'm just being goofy, but
yeah. No, I feel that.
But I mean, but either way, like don't be scared to dip your toes in that water, man. Like
it's a lot of what.
What's the worst? What's the worst that's gonna happen?
Well, I mean,
like realistically,
I mean, right now I'm technically jobless if you don't count my groceries. So, I mean, there's really the worst that can happen. I think is about what I'm living right now. So.
Well, shit. Then there you go.
Let's get it.
Well,
I can't quit my job though.
Dip that foot in that water. Well, if you're doing $100 per, $100 an hour per gig, and you're busting out
getting gigs,
4 or 5 gigs a week.
Gotta find those gigs out.
Yeah, that's, yeah,
yeah, that's
sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna talk more about other stuff, but that's
stuff.
too much about my experience with it. We're not here to talk about me.
I thought this was like
I thought we were interviewing you.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually,
you guys can interview me if you want.
Get advice.
No. You want some good advice?
I always take good advice.
Dude, what I did was I found musician friends on Facebook, saw where they were playing, wrote down every place, called and sent them a Facebook message, email, and called them, all of them. I would send out about...
Okay, at least send them a message.
I would send out probably about 100 a week for quite a long time.
Okay, so we do 100 a week.
Well, let me put it this way. I'd send out about 100 a week and get 1 or 2 replies. Right. But I would, every place I had a list, every place that replied, I marked them out. Or every place that replied with a yes, I marked them out. Right. And then the rest would just go back in circulation. And then every month I'd hit them up again. And some places like Brewery 33 in particular never fucking heard of me or anything like that, but they booked me like 5 gigs and just from me calling them. They're like, yeah, we're like, oh yeah, okay, 5 gigs, here you go. I'm like, holy shit. I even made the joke. Well, hopefully I don't suck.
Like, you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
But that's the type of hustle that I did, and that was a emergency hustle. That was I don't have a job, so I need money type of hustle. I needed. Yeah. I spent my last $300 I had buying a fucking board. As soon as I was out and about in public again. And that's the first thing I bought was a board, and then I was like, okay, speakers. But yeah, hustle and just hit places up all the time, and work for cheap when you first go. Don't turn down a gig for money. And then after you start getting going, then you can start picking and choosing your prices. And my third year, I didn't call anybody. They were all calling me.
They were all calling him.
They were. That's a true story. I didn't have to call anybody and ask them.
It sounds like you had done all the calling, for a couple of years. So,
Yeah, and not just that, but delivered the service that they asked for.
Right.
And there's some places that didn't call me back. You're gonna have that shit too.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you're just not a fit, and you can't take it personally.
Yeah. No, that's be what it is. Everybody's got different, outlooks of their own bar and their own demographic and whatnot. And you might look at a bar and say, "We'd work here." Bar owner might not look at you and think the same thing.
Yeah.
Or listen to you hopefully and think the same thing.
Oh man, there's been times where I'd play somewhere and I would hear the jukebox, that's playing, and it's nothing that I play. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun, and then it turns out being a great gig. I'm like, oh, great. And then there's places that I think is gonna be, this is gonna be a great time, and then it turns out
crickets.
No applause, no nothing. Just when you're done, you just hear that in the background.
You hear the toilet flushing.
Yeah, you think someone's clapping. You look over and they're just trying to get ketchup out of a bottle. You're like, fuck.
Ooh, ouch. To be honest, I've played a handful of gigs that were real quiet, and sometimes I don't mind a quiet gig. I played one time and I think it made sense being quiet. It was it's really fancy, not really fancy, but fairly fancy dinner at a golf course, a country club, and they just had me off in the corner like a jukebox. Me and my guitar playing hits.
You said that was a golf club?
Yeah.
Yeah, those places you are more ambient.
Yeah. I liked it though.
Those are bittersweet because you feel like no one's listening, but then they walk by and drop a 20 in that bucket.
Exactly. They are listening, but they're multitasking. They're having a dinner conversation. They're eating. They're having a drink.
You are what they need you to be.
You're radio, man.
Yeah.
You're a live radio.
Not even just that, but you're in those situations, you're quiet enough to be a background noise, or if they want to turn and pay attention, you're just loud enough for them to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I like those. The only time I can think that a country club or golf club bit me in the ass is I'm never one to play New Year's Eve gigs because I just don't like being out and about when everyone else is drinking and out and about, and even though I've always had this marketing strategy I've always wanted to do, or marketing thing, and just let's rock out with our clocks out, but I've never gotten to use it. But anyway,
wasted potential.
Well, anyhow, so this little Turtle golf course out in Westerville, the guy who I told you earlier, the guy I told you I can give you this guy's name, the one who was booking me. He's the one that got me in there and a couple other places. And they're like, yeah, can you play New Year's Eve? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, it ends at 9. I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, sure, that's weird though. Okay.
Because they're all 80.
Yes, they fucking were. I walked in there and
dude,
it was like a fog settled with nothing but white heads all over sitting down. I'm like, oh, okay.
Hey, jealousy.
Yeah. I'm over here. I say you drive around town.
Playing the hits of the 90s and 2000s today.
And then I'd get a clap when I played fucking Johnny Cash. I'm like, oh. Yeah, I don't play. I don't fucking know all these. I know. I don't. It's not what I grew up on.
What do you want people listening to?
I would play that one, and I'd play those slower than normal. It's to let stretch them out.
Oh fuck yeah! Give them something they like.
Well, then you have then to sit there in front of the speaker and say it's too loud. Turn down the hearing aid. I'm not.
Don't you have control on that?
I'm not insulting the elders here, but it was a very.
I am.
It was when it was over. I was ready to be out. Not just not my crowd, man. And it was one time.
You know what? It is my crowd though. So
yeah, she loves the old people.
Well, see, that was before Ranjay was with me regularly.
That would change things.
See, when Ranjay's with me and we're in a shitty place, at least I have somebody to fucking talk to and be like, "Oh my god, bro, this place sucks." But, and
fair.
Yeah, that's Didn't you have that camaraderie? You know, you can be like,
don't
all
feel
right,
as
we're
bad.
having a good
We're
time.
both having a shitty time.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you want to
Together.
get drunk and practice? Yeah, okay, let's do that.
Basically, that's all it is at that point. Yeah, it's a paid practice.
Yeah.
That is priceless.
Yeah, so you guys have the advantage there. You know,
Right.
that's a good thing.
It's true.
But yeah, you'll have those gigs, man. But
Love them.
yeah, but seriously, write down all. Just do.
Oh.
And don't be scared to play for free when like if you see me playing somewhere and any of your music friends be like, hey, can we step in there and be like, hey, can we play your break? You know, do you mind if we play your break?
Right.
You know, and then talk to the manager afterwards. You know, that's how Reese and I would do it. You know, Reese would come out to one of my shows and play my break, or I'd go out to his show and play his break, and then kind of work for management that way.
Oh,
It's really good.
that's a
Yeah,
good idea.
Yep.
That's good stuff.
Cool. That's I was saying 50 sounds fair for the advice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here.
50. I know
Actually-
I know I quoted you 30, but 50 sounds fair.
Oh,
Oh, not
peanut.
Frank.
Just looking at your planters over here. You got on that your cocktail peanuts you got hanging
What the
around.
fuck? Oh.
They're behind your laptop.
Oh, okay, yeah. Actually, the
I'm just
story
looking at
behind
your
those.
notes.
Oh, my, that's a story.
There's a story behind those. Dale Barnes. You guys know Dale?
I don't know him, but I mean, I've seen his his posts.
Okay.
I think I might have had him on a friend. You know, a musician.
He was on 2 podcasts here. We did a part
Saw
1 and
his
part
part
2.
two, yeah.
He in his first podcast, he was telling me how when he was a child, he loved RC cola and putting peanuts in the glass and
I've
or
heard of
in the
that.
soda bottle, and I'd never heard of it before, and I was like, that's fucking crazy. So the second podcast, I had a whole RC and some peanuts for him.
Aw.
Did he enjoy it?
Oh yeah, he's like he's like, I haven't had this since I was like 16. You know,
That's
he
great.
and he was all about it, man.
That's
all
cool.
about it.
And it's weird, he obviously doesn't do that often. You know.
Well, he can't. He can't. He can't have sugar too much anymore.
Okay.
So he was able to have a glass of it.
Gotcha.
You know.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. You know, he
But-
probably doesn't even think about doing that. You know.
Yeah.
That's nice.
But that's why you guys can have some too. They're now just there for community nuts.
No, those are Dale's. Dale's nuts. Right there. Oops.
Well, I might as well just put a little sticker on there that says Dale's
Some
nuts.
masking tape. Dale's nuts. Oh Lord, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
You guys about ready for a break?
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, let's
Take
take
a
a
break.
break.
Yeah, we're about an
gin's
hour and
starting to
15
settle.
minutes. Yeah.
Oh wow.
All right, we'll be back in. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll be instantaneous to you.
BRB.
All right.
And we're back.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
So we sat outside and discussed things that we could talk about, and we came to the conclusion that we don't know.
I had an idea.
And what was your
Couldn't
idea?
remember it.
Musical inspirations.
Yeah, that's about all I had. I mean, we are musicians. There's obviously musicians that inspired us, all of us, to do what we do or what we have done. Stevie not playing anymore.
I'm still playing. Just not
No, I
as
know.
much.
I'm just giving you a hard time. But I mean, I'll start. No, I mean,
You go first.
I used to hate country music, and I mean, for listeners who might not realize, we're a country act. Primarily, I would say country is our main genre. I mean, I think that's the primary. We do a lot of country and country rock and classic rock, but I think even our classic rock sounds very country, just because of who we are, and I think the sound we've kind of fell into, and we have. I don't know country for shit, or at least I haven't past the last few years. I used to say I hated country. I used to, and I look at that as a pretty ignorant viewpoint anymore. Like, you say you hate a type of music, it's like you might not want to listen to it.
Well, I think country has a division point. At one point in time, it went from country to
I agree.
what people hate country for now.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you, and that's part of the big problem is there's this pop country, which is what I call it. That's what I call that. Everything. I don't know, probably past the late '90s. It's turned into Miley Cyrus with a steel guitar. you know, or
Yeah.
you know, but essentially, you know, you take a dude with a twangy voice and you know write a song about a truck. It's country, but it's not country.
It's weird because like I think the person the musician that propelled that to happen was actually one of the greatest country, you know, performers of all time. That's Garth Brooks.
I would agree
You know,
with that.
like he's kind of made that country into rock and roll sort of thing. You know, and he
A stadium act.
yeah, exactly. And then once he did that,
Commercialized it. Essentially.
country became what would that
Gentrified.
marketable. You know, it became not marketable is not the right word. It just became
More.
an image.
I know
You
what
know,
you
like
mean.
it's like, oh well, here's the recipe. We're gonna follow this
Pop
recipe
culture
now.
icon. It isn't
Yeah.
just necessarily country anymore. Where you know it might have been Johnny Cash, or it might be some dude you never heard of. Now it's like, well, if you're not listening to Dierks Bentley or I don't know, I don't listen, but you know you're not listening to country, and I'm like, well, I disagree. You know, because there's lots of amazing country artists that people don't know of. You know,
Yeah.
and that's where I fell into country is because. Like I said, I never liked country, and it's because what was presented to me was stuff like Luke Bryan and don't get me wrong, somebody wrote a bunch of great tunes for Luke Bryan, you know, and a lot of other country artists, but they're not.
Yeah.
It's not country music, you know.
Well,
In my, at least my perspective, you know.
there's a guy that I work with that listens to country music, and I don't mind. Like people listen to whatever they listen to. I don't really
Everyone
judge,
does,
you know.
exactly.
I'll just tone it out if I don't care for it. But there's songs on there I'll stop and I'm like, bro, like if you asked me to guess what kind of station this was, I would not say country. Like just based off the last two songs that I heard. You know, there's like one song on there. It sounds like it's just a pop hit. There's no country to it. There's not even like there might be like a hint of a twang in the background somewhere. You know, like, but it's, oh yeah, that's Taylor Swift. Like, oh, okay,
It's true.
neat.
Right, and it's like, but how do these DJs get off calling it country? Like, it's told what it is. Like, we're a pop country station. You know, T100 plays like some like '90s actual country hits, and like maybe some like Charlie Daniels here and there. I call it country, you know. But like then they play all, you know, pop country, and it's like, well, just call it what it is. We play pop country, you know, and then some hits.
Yeah,
But people now they just call it country, and then you got people like me like, oh, I hate country. Well, I didn't hate country. I just wasn't looking at the right
didn't
music.
like the glamour country.
I didn't like what was being presented to me, and I wasn't looking deeper. And there is a lot. there.
You and I are parallel that way. You know, like there's still a lot of songs that I just didn't even know exist. I thought they were just Terry Douglas songs. Because that's where I learned my country from.
That's
you know,
fair.
just Terry Douglas. Oddly enough, you know, born in West Virginia, grew up in Texas, and like that just country just like morphed around me somehow. I just somehow skipped it all, you know. But
That's funny because I grew up in Jersey, you know, and I don't think there's a soul in Jersey who listens to country music unironically. For the ones who do, but like to come to I if you would ask me 5 years ago if I'd be a country music into it, playing it, especially, I would be like, no, I would never. I'd never play country music. Like, closest thing you get me to country is like the band.
yeah,
You know, but then I realized like stuff like that old stuff that I really like, the old like Americana, like the band and the Grateful Dead, and like the stuff that I actually grew up listening to, which is a great influence on me. I realized influenced me. I almost ended up a country musician myself, you know, just in sound, you know, in a weird way. I moved to Ohio.
it's more folky.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, where's the line? You know, from folk to country.
I think it has to do with an accent.
No, but I mean, I don't know, because at least I have a wide, an odder view. I don't want to say wider, because I mean, people call pop country, and I'll tell you it's not. But then again, I'll call Jimmy Buffett country, and some country people are like, country people, that sounded really ignorant. But some people who listen to country, or maybe more people who have listened to it longer than I have, they'd be like, no, I don't think Jimmy Buffett's country. I'm like, well, I disagree with you. So I don't know. It's
What pisses me off more, and I think pisses me off is probably
grinds his gears.
It's probably a little over exaggerating, or as Anya would tell me, I'm being redundant. It's just exaggerating, but
a new word. Ouch.
Is when musicians go from one genre to the next, and it's typically from this to country. You know what I mean? You know, Darius Rucker, Aaron Lewis.
That's fair.
You know, just the threat. But like, the thing that bothers me most is when you hear those people do that, and now they have a country twang
But that they didn't have before.
that they didn't have before.
That's fair. I don't.
That's where
I don't feel like Darius Rucker used a twang though. I don't know. I don't go.
no,
into Swiss country
I don't
music.
think he did either. But to me,
But
that's
Aaron Lewis definitely did. You're right.
I don't even know if Aaron Lewis did. I just know I've noticed
did.
it before, but like,
But you're right.
to me, I don't know, just
It's less authentic.
when you start categorizing all these things, you know, like just play the music you love, you know, and maybe Aaron Lewis did it right, you know, but he came out and just said, you know, oh, I'm country now. Why can't you just be the same fucking person you were? And you're just like, hey, I do both. Like, look at, I mean, I'd say prime example, Corey Taylor. Slipknot, you know, Stone Sour.
He does what he wants.
He does what he wants.
And he doesn't. I've never seen him put a label on anything he's ever done.
Right.
You're right. That's fair.
He's just like, I'm me. I just do what I like.
Yeah, and you know, he might be. You know, I think I've seen him in some like rap videos and stuff. You know, because he does like electronic dance stuff. I don't know what to call this stuff, so I might be terminology wrong. But you know, I've seen him do all sorts of stuff. You know, and he's definitely got a wide I don't know, wide berth of musical intrigues. Because you know.
Speaking of rap.
Speaking of what?
Rap. Did you guys hear Amanda Bynes' new rap video?
No.
Do you know
Amanda Bynes is still alive.
Yeah. I heard it this morning. I listened to a radio show, a talk radio show in the mornings, and as soon as you said rap, all I could think about is this Amanda Bynes rap thing that I heard. I'm gonna try to find it here real quick.
Open. I was gonna ask if you were gonna play me some Amanda Bynes rap. I'm intrigued. You know, I like rap, but I'm really picky about it.
Yeah, I am too. I don't mind it.
I don't. You know, I'm not gonna lie, because you know, a lot of people complain about rap that's like all about like
I wonder if this
sex and drugs, and if it's got a good beat. Diamonds. Precise.
this
Amanda
it?
Bynes. That's what it looks like. Huh?
Yeah, Diamonds. This is it.
So,
Where is she?
I'm gonna let it just.
Is she gonna? There.
On her what?
On her fish. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds on my fish. Like, is she talking about like in an aquarium, or is she talking about like her junk?
What?
I'm not gonna lie, that's where I went with that too.
I got diamonds on my fish.
Is there a video for this?
Please.
I don't know.
Please don't.
I'm hoping that I can understand it more.
What? Please don't, Bonnie. What?
I don't
Bedazzle
think-
your fish.
No, we cannot bedazzle.
She's not bedazzling. She's putting diamonds on it. Jeez.
What's the difference?
About
I
a
think diamonds are more
$250,000. You know, I'm gonna put shiny rocks in my junk. It's gonna be fun. Anyway, I'm sorry to squirrel. Like that's
No.
That's right inside how my mind works. Sometimes
I'm interested in this. To be honest with you,
that time.
how long? That's what I want to know. How long has she been doing rap? Truly, like
I think this is like the first one.
that's fish. She
Yeah, it's
said
definitely fish. I hate laughing at her because I feel like this chick is like a major product of.
I mean, I grew up watching her.
We all did.
Yeah, she was so talented. It
Yeah.
had a
And
lot of
she
fun to
was
watch.
funny. She had all these characters.
Makes you, you know, we all hear a lot about, you know, child stars and
Mm-hmm.
you know, a lot of them are openly admitted
They're all
of,
fucked up.
yeah, of being, how it fucked them up, and a lot of them it's because of their parents. A lot
Yeah,
of it's
manipulation,
because, a lot of it's
money,
because of their management, or
rape.
whatever. Which is what I hate to say.
Yeah,
Kesha.
Corey Feldman, Corey Haim,
yeah.
All that.
But it just makes you wonder sometimes. But is this
Make-
a product
make-
of that,
what-
or is this just?
It seems
Amanda
to
Bynes.
it seems to have this this same thing, like in a parallel universe. This is another Britney Spears sort of situation. Even though Britney Spears and she wasn't quite as popular as Amanda Bynes when at that age, she was on Mickey Mouse Club or whatever, but she got famous with music.
Yeah.
But Amanda Bynes she was a lot of fun. Did a lot of, like Bonnie said, a lot of comedic stuff, and just kind of went. I don't know. I thought good things were going to come from her. Then shit started getting weird.
Didn't she involved in something? I don't like take a whole lot of stock into I don't know, the tabloids and watching celebrities' lives, because I don't know. I look at this way: if I were to somehow ever become a celebrity, whatever in whatever form, I don't think I'd want you guys sitting at home wondering what the fuck I was doing. I
Right.
just.
Well, yeah, but you're famous now. We got to know what you're doing.
Right? What's Joe doing?
I've never been
What
that
flannel
curious
is he
about.
wearing?
Yeah, but I've never I guess I've never understood, because I've never
Will you send me used underwear in the mail? please?
I'm a fan of lots of things, but I've never thought to myself, I wonder what Jason Momoa is doing right now. I'd really like to know what Scarlett Johansson is wearing at this moment in time.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, you can go online and almost find out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when I was younger, I idolized people like that. I've always been in the movies and things. As I've gotten older, I've realized the toxicity of it. And started looking at them as people instead of things on that screen. But as you said, when it comes to Hollywood and child stars, how many people really come out of Hollywood as child stars that were okay?
I was gonna say,
Jodie Foster.
I mean, Drew Barrymore is okay. She was kind of. I mean, she has a talk show now.
Yeah, but she's okay
she was
now.
kind of rocky.
That's what I
but
was gonna say.
she
Actually,
made it
Well,
out.
I think her
I have a-
rockiness was just
Young
going through her 20s in the public eye.
Exactly. Exactly.
She
what
never
we're
went.
talking about.
She never. Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think she
Drew
had
Barrymore.
I don't think she was ever abused. At least
She had
probably not
she did
openly.
have
I don't remember hearing anything
she did
openly.
grow up young. I think she
Yeah,
had
for sure.
some parent issues
Mm-hmm.
or something for a little while, but nothing that wasn't. Either way, but Jodie Foster, I think, is another one that's kind of come out of it pretty
Say
well.
Will Wheaton. If you don't know who Will Wheaton is,
Yeah, Stand By Me.
Well,
And Star Trek.
I was gonna say Star Trek.
Did you see the movies next to you, by the way?
I did not. Those are,
That's-
those are the original series movies. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I never got into the original series.
Yeah,
the
you're
movies,
a next generation type of guy.
yeah, and beyond. But the thing is, they set the course, if you will, for Star Trek.
Star
So I
Trek
respect
music right
them,
now.
but the shows themselves, I couldn't get past the first few episodes, just because. Maybe it's because I grew up in a different generation, but the graphics.
That's what I grew up on. I love those
acting is
things. I love that sort of shit.
The movies, though, are action. They learn how to act after a few seasons.
Well, see, I prefer the TV show over that. But I also like the aesthetic of it. So you go to the remake that they recently did.
You mean the new movies?
Yeah,
What's
the new series, but it's based on James T. Kirk, and
the same crew and the same
Yeah, I love those.
Me too.
Well, especially the first one. The first one's the best.
for sure.
You
I like what they did with all of them actually, except how they changed they changed the Klingons, and I think they changed Cardassians too, visually.
The Kardashians were in it.
Yeah, Kim and
Finally, something I can talk about.
Oh,
No, I'm just joking.
But right, we just
Well, I think we've gone movie nerd or little nerd on Bonnie here with
Sorry,
that Star
Bonnie.
Trek stuff.
I'm still here.
We started in musical. What was it? Musical
Inspirations.
inspiration.
My
Now we're
musical
talking-
inspiration is Spock.
Did you know Spock is actually a music? No, I think I've seen a picture with him.
Yeah,
It's
he
once.
really exercises his Vulcan chords. Thank you. I'm here all week. Try the veal.
Wait, you got veal?
Vegan veal, which is mystery stuff. Plant magic.
Plant magic. That's a good. I haven't heard that term.
I just made it up. I've never heard it before either.
You should.
Yeah.
Food truck called Plant Magic, and it's gonna be vegan. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Well, it is plant magic. Like, I have no idea what's in this shit.
That's fair. Like what? Like I'm assuming like tofu and other.
Well, I know what tofu
soybean.
is. That's a bean. But like when they say like plant-based materials,
Oh, well, I mean,
that's a very loose term.
isn't it in the ingredients, man? Do you not look at the ingredients in these things? You just it says it's plant based and it doesn't have any, and you're just like going with it.
Yeah, just go with it.
I'm gonna be real
Do
honest.
you open a box of mac and cheese and question what's in it besides mac and cheese?
No, but I also don't question what I eat as much as. I mean, I guess maybe I'm looking at this wrong, but like, I look at you as someone who like actually like cares about what he puts in his body. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I spend a lot of time not giving a shit about what I eat. Obviously, if there's no cameras, but I'm fat.
Ditto.
But I mean, like, you've become. Are you vegan? I don't want to be rude. I don't.
No,
Want
I'm vegetarian,
Vegetarian.
and
I'm
I've
not
cheated sometimes.
That's not even what we're here to talk. I don't want to shame you on that. I guess what I'm saying is like, I look at you and I say, well, he put a lot of like thought into like changing his diet, and then you say you don't read what's on the back of these things. I was like a little. I expected you to pick up like that ground plant meal or whatever the fuck it is.
The plant magic.
Plant magic and
could be a
and
chia
read
pet.
it and just, and maybe even do research to say like, well, what makes it. I don't know. I guess
I didn't care enough about that stuff. I
fair,
just
just
didn't
the
want to be.
change itself.
I just didn't want to be as big as I was. So like the stuff I looked at was calories. You know.
Okay.
If I'm eating,
see. It makes more sense
if I'm
now.
eating ZNOC, 5, whatever fucking abbreviation they put in the back of these ingredients. Okay, then I'm eating that chemical, But if that chemical is
making you fat.
making me, if it's 150 calories per tablespoon, then I'm not going to eat that. That's basically it. Like
Is
I
that
did.
a lot?
All I did is for 2 years I just got rid of fast foods, cheese.
How dare you?
Sir, can you stop? You're scaring
I
the
don't know
children.
if I want to do this anymore.
I love cheese, but I replaced it with avocado.
Oh, see, I don't like avocado. How do you replace? You can. I'm sorry.
I would take
gonna have to
avocado and
I gotta go,
and
guys.
instead of slicing it, I would keep it in the skin, and I would scoop it out with a spoon and put it on like a paste on bread.
How does
and
that
then I would
con-
season it. It's really good.
But that's not cheese though.
No, but it tricked me. It gave me the texture of cheese, and
I'm
that's
just
what.
not so sure. See, I don't like the texture of avocado, but I love cheese, and I just don't see how that. I don't know. Maybe I don't think I could be tricked.
There may have been me just like tricking myself,
Telling yourself,
Yeah.
you have to do this.
but I
Steve.
Do this.
but it worked, and I actually enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
you do
so.
you look great, by the way.
Yeah.
I lost like almost 100, like 90 some odd pounds, but I kind of stayed there.
I mean, that's a
That's
a big
awesome.
Well,
deal.
Thank you. I still
I
got
found
30.
it.
I still want 30 more pounds to go.
That's fair, man. I mean, you should always have a goal. You lose that 30, there's going to be some goal, whether it may be toning up or whatnot. I don't know. I'm not a fucking fitness dude, but I mean, like, there's always if you
Toning up.
don't have a goal, you're going to fall behind, and then you're going to need another goal. But
Yeah.
I guess is the way I look at it.
It's been wishy washy, and I'll play the COVID card on that one. When
That's
that happened, and then Anya moved in,
Should cook for you. Huh?
no, actually, I still do most of the cooking.
That's fair.
But just what I'm cooking is not. I lived off soup and sandwiches for 2.5 years. That's
It's because it's just
that's all I made. Well, the thing
you
is, I would
needed.
still eat a lot, but what I was eating was low calorie.
better for you. Yeah.
So yeah, it was healthier. I got to the point where I stopped using oils and butter. I wouldn't use butter. I wouldn't use cheese.
You're scaring me.
butter.
No, well, that's the thing is
Not the butter.
here's the thing is here's the just like soda.
See, that's what I
It's
quit.
something that I thought I needed, but it wasn't. It's something
fair.
that I wanted.
Yeah, I mean,
And
True. I want it right
so
now.
which one did I want more? I wanted to not feel the way I was feeling more. My decision to lose that weight came down to the fact that I was putting on a size 44 jeans and they weren't fitting very well.
I feel you.
And I was sitting there in Meyer. My mom was with me. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And that's the day I bought gym shorts. You know, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't feel like this. You know, I'm embarrassed to take these into the fitting room. You know, and size 44 jeans that I had to buy the stretchy ones. They're 44 stretch, 44 plus.
I feel
you know,
dog. I really do.
Yeah, and those were the only jeans I wore for a year.
For work at my last job, or not the job before last. I just go through jobs. I have a problem with establishment. That's a whole nother topic.
Damn the man.
I'm going to remove this hat since it doesn't matter. It's hot.
Oh, that's her name.
I had a bunch of gin, so. But no, I mean, I had to get, normally like my favorite pair of jeans, a 42 is, it's all right, you know, it fits around my belly, you know. And I don't know, these Dickies I was buying from work, man, I ordered a 42 and I couldn't even barely get around like my underbelly. If you fat people know what I mean, okay.
What?
You know, because like, which isn't, you know,
When you suffer from Dunlap, right? Is that what you're talking about?
What is it?
Dunlap? Dunlap disease?
What's that?
When your belly's Dunlapped your belt?
Oh, Lord, I should have saw that one coming. Oh, I'll blame it on the gin.
Dunlapped over your belt, yeah.
So, yeah, exactly, you know. For layman's terms there. For you folks at home. No, I mean, I had to order, I ended up ordering a 44 next, which I shouldn't have even. I should have just went straight to the 46. Because I ordered the 44 and it made me feel worse. Send it back. And I got a 46. Man, I had to buy a much 46 just to get the fit, you know, because I had made this decision because I used to just wear my pants under my Dunlap, you know, under my belly, you know, which was like a smaller size. But, you know, that isn't really your waist. You know, that isn't really where your pants belong if you're dressing properly. You know?
So every time you bend over, your ass cracks sticking out.
You know, I was tired of, you know, and I kept the shirt tucked in. I always buy tall shirts, you know, so that I always have a shirt tucked in. Because I didn't want no one to see that shit, you know. But then again, I also didn't want to have to buy a 46 fucking waist pair of pants, you know, just to fit over my belly. And ended up being a 46 was a little too tight for my belly, you know, but I wasn't buying no more damn pants. But I feel that, you know, it's a decision I haven't quite, I guess, made, you know.
Yeah, and
I've made other decisions.
It's
so
not.
I mean,
It's not. There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. It's just for me.
Yeah,
I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy feeling that way.
I totally feel what
I didn't enjoy seeing myself, looking at myself. I didn't enjoy. I would see myself on camera and be like, look at that fat piece of shit. You know, and it's nothing against heavier people. It was me. Like, I didn't enjoy seeing me like that.
Right. Well, I mean, there's no doubt about being, you know, overweight isn't good for you. You know, I mean, you can't just look at it and say that's, you know, it's not. You know. So I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, you know, trying to work on your health. You know, being skinnier is part of that. If you're overweight, you know. So.
I've lost 28 pounds since July.
Woo!
Since June?
July? Yeah, when I got locked in work. Cracked down.
Yeah.
That's good, though, you know? I mean,
yeah, Kyle and I talked about that in our podcast. Yeah.
Lockdowns?
Her, I mean, our podcast was while she was in the lockdown. And we talked, we kind of mentioned it.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Being thought of.
We talked about you, too, I think, for a brief moment.
Ooh.
Why? I think we said... what we liked about you is you're very straightforward. If you see bullshit, you'll call people out on it, and that's what we liked about you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I appreciate that. Cause to be honest, that's one of I don't know. I've been through a lot of. I've endured a lot of lying in my life, you know, and that's something I don't know. Maybe it's selfish of me, but I just feel like lying is one of those things. It's just like it's hard to look past for me. It's being honest is like a true virtue, you know. Being open, being honest, being transparent is something I always have, like, you know. And I'm not saying I've failed. You know, I guess I've failed many times at being honest. You know, I'm human, but you know, it's like I look at it, you know, and I try and make decisions before I say something. You know, am I being honest? You know, or make it, you know, do something. Am I being honest? Is the right thing to do. So I don't know. I think that's where that comes from. A lot of people, like Bonnie says it all the time. She's terrified of going in public with me, because I'll say shit sometimes, you know.
Yeah, you never know. You really don't. But that's honestly, yeah, I cringe, but that's one of the things that I like about you, because I know that you bring it into the music too.
I appreciate
and
that.
you would be like, we need to do that again, or
Yeah,
we need
I mean,
to. This song's not really, are you sure you don't need to? This needs to go higher or lower.
Right. Yeah, I mean, well, there's, I don't know.
But it's what I was lacking from other bands that I was in, is honesty of what we're doing.
Learning to take
Brutal honesty.
Yeah, learning
Right.
to take criticism is something.
Taking
I don't know.
exact criticism.
I think it's something that hit me. I was really shy before, like, we were talking earlier about when I started playing guitar. Really huge transformation for me in that period, because before that I was really shy. I would sing in choir, but like, I'm sure there's people in choir who agree with this, but like, there's singing choir and then there's singing alone. You know, I sang choir, but I didn't try out for solos. You know, if you know what I mean. I sang in an ensemble, but because I wanted to compete, because I loved singing, but I did not sing in solos because I was shy. My senior year, or actually my junior year, I started doing tech for the high school musicals, because my brother was in musicals and he was an actor and he was in an acting ensemble. He was so good, and watching him, and we had and I don't know if it's every high school, but I felt like ours was blessed with some serious talent. Like, we had some really great actors, we had some really great musicians, that came out of my high school, and that I got to watch. I would sit after school and watch the acting ensemble do like improv. I mean, these guys are fucking like it was like watching Whose Line. You know? It was just like that, sometimes, and I was so impressed.
I've done stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
It is, and I when I saw that, I decided, well, I'm gonna try out for tech. The behind the scenes, set building and running the soundboard, running the lights, which I was horrible at running the lights. And it was. Like, that transformed my life in so many different ways. Trying out for tech, not trying out, but joining the tech crew, which was like a after school thing.
I know. I was in plays. I wasn't in them. I did directing.
Okay, wow.
With I was obviously assistant director with the teacher.
Right, but that's a big. I don't know. I feel like that's a big honor. Like, in my school, that was an honor when you got to assistant direct. Assistant direct.
My thing was, like, I wanted to be an actor, but I can't remember lines to save my fucking life. Even today, like, if I'm doing music, I have to have the words up there because I cannot remember words.
We have a book, and sometimes I feel like it's like, having it in front of you is like, can be like a downfall, but then again, it's like,
it can turn into a crutch.
It's something I've been actually like working with recently is it has become a crutch for me, and I've been trying to work out, like, I want it there because what if I do screw up, and it's nice to have in front of you.
It's right there.
But like, learning to not rely on it, while it's there, is hard.
I think the key there is just not making it obvious that you're looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been working on different positioning for a stand, keep it low so I could see it, but also trying to eye contact with crowd. I used to wear sunglasses when I played, and that's part of like that shyness. It's like if I couldn't. I don't know. I could see the crowd, but I know they can't see me looking any particular direction. So for some reason, it's like tricking myself into thinking they almost can't see me. So I used to wear sunglasses.
Yeah, I always closed my eyes.
I close my eyes a lot.
Yeah, I was an eye closer myself.
And I learned that though, that like sometimes I close my eyes for so long. One, I'm not in the mic anymore. And I know that her and Robert, Bonnie's husband Robert is our sound guy and a sound guy. Not just for us. And
for Tony's. Is Tony still a thing?
No.
Is that bitter?
I don't know. Is it?
No, not at all.
It's just, I think it's weird right
with
now.
COVID, we just decided to take a break.
There's been no music. For
As soon as you
They're
mentioned
open.
sound guy like Robert,
Yeah.
I went through like the Rolodex in my head. I'm like, I don't think I've seen Tony posters in a while.
Right.
I'm not on Facebook too much. Besides,
it is solely just COVID. I mean, I'd like to think that they would hopefully, and introduce music, because I feel like for me and Bonnie both, a lot of musicians we know before and after us, Tony's is a huge influence for us, because it was we always knew we can come down on a Sunday night and be with either be with our music family, play if we needed to or wanted to, or watch someone play, and then not only that, there's always Saturday shows and Friday shows, and this is, it was a hub for music in Newark for a long time, and
Yeah, Anya told me that she played at Tony's like years ago.
Really?
With her next band, 6 Foot Shy. But yeah.
I wonder how long ago. I wonder if that was, while
That
we
would
were
have been-
frequenting.
That would have been like 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
That's a good chance, yeah. Because I was on my Facebook memories the other day, and it was like 10 years ago. I had just turned 18, and thanks. And I was posting about going down to Tony's for open mic, and I'm like, man, that's like got to be one of my earliest experiences at Tony's, because I believe
Restarted that. Restarted that open mic.
did he really?
Yeah, that's what he told me. That's what
I
he
didn't
told me in
realize
the
that
pod.
restarted that one.
Yeah,
I know
that's what he told me in the
it
podcast.
was, when I started going there, it was Jesse running it, but I don't know how true that is.
No.
It's been through a lot of people. I can think of at least 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Well,
Not
according
including me
to
and Jesse.
according to Reese's podcast, he said that they had no interest in ever doing an open mic, and he convinced them into doing an open mic.
No, I believe that.
He said he started
what I
this. Maybe he was specific to say Sunday open mics. I'm not sure, but yeah, he said he's the one that started that, and he said it was like a while ago.
Yeah.
It's been going on for a long
like
time.
Yeah.
10 years. And like
And I think Tony's has always been Tony's is one of those
we ran it
places
for
that don't
6.
close. And I think that stability, kind of like bled through to the open mic, because it's one of those things that like, only didn't happen unless it, absolutely couldn't happen, it just didn't get canceled, just like Tony's don't close,
Right.
So, and that, COVID hit, and it's it smacked music out of Tony's, but I'd like to think that someday it'd come back, but
COVID smacked music out of a lot of fucking places. I'm doing a fucking show for Winterfest this year. I'm not going to say where, because they asked me not to. Because it's
because they don't want to get in trouble.
they're doing a secret Winterfest. Like,
Dun, dun,
I was gonna
dun.
say, when you said Winterfest, I was like, I forgot about Winterfest now, because I
I was
used to live
specifically
in Lake.
asked not to promote it.
So they're doing a winter. I don't know. I don't mind speaking of it. They're doing a Winterfest for all the rich people in Buckeye Lake. Right, is what you're saying.
I don't know about their wealth, but I know the bars are doing the fucking Winterfest without anybody, without
I guess I just
promoting it.
The big business in Buckeye Lake for me is either marine or bars. Is the way I look at it. So it sounds like to me like that Buckeye Lake is covertly planning their own Winterfest for like the elite, if you will. We'll leave money out of it. The elite, the Buckeye Lake elite, which doesn't sound like much.
I will say I'm getting paid more this year than I did last year.
I'm not against it in any way, because you know what?
That's on the 30th, I think.
To be completely honest, if we're gonna, I don't know if we're gonna go that route, because this, I don't know if anybody wants to admit it, but this, speaking of COVID, it's become pretty political. I don't think
It's been
you can.
political from the beginning.
It's so hard to
Where are we going?
because a lot of people want to try and separate the two. Oh, it's not. It's a pandemic.
You don't like talking about politics,
but
Molly?
like it is a pandemic.
I hate politics.
I don't really like talking about politics, but then again, like sometimes like things need said, and I feel like the only way that we're gonna come through this pandemic is obviously being smart, because it's not like it's not real. It's like, because I look at like half. I'm not even gonna like specify what half, because I think we all know, but half the people think that it's a hoax. Or roughly half. Then half the people think it's real. But then, like,
I think that it's less than that.
it's less than half on both sides, because
I think
because there's a middle part of people that
a lot of people know it's real.
yeah, like, it is real.
I think
And the thing is-
a minority of who thinks it's a hoax, and I think even more of a minority now than it was when it first started.
Well, yeah.
People who thought it was a hoax when it first started was like, oh well, wait till the election's over.
Exactly,
because
and
the election, because that's an American political thing.
But the thing about it is
in a global pandemic, that
it
makes sense.
was definitely, I think, enhanced, and definitely exaggerated by the fact that look where our country is right now. We're in a huge, probably, I don't know. I mean, I've only been around for 27 years, but probably like the biggest election I know of our country's, history at this point, just because of what it could mean, or at least what people think it could mean, and then for this COVID to hit, which like I'm not gonna sit here and say it's hoax because I know like damn well like there's people that die of it, but the thing about it is it's like they have like spun it around to make one side believe one thing, the other side believe this other thing, and then coming at each other,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch TV.
See, I don't watch TV.
I think that has a lot to do with me not
I get a lot
giving
of
a
it,
shit.
and that's sad because I don't watch TV because I try to avoid this crap, and it's just like, you get on your social media. Me for social media for me is Facebook. I don't know. I don't do like Instagram and all that other stuff. I get on Facebook.
Instagram's a throwaway thing for me. I just put stuff on there because whatever.
That's fair. So I mean, and we'll divulge out of politics here quickly because I'm getting tired of it already. But like, I think what a lot of people aren't looking at is the fact that we're actually being put against each other.
Yeah.
If we all were to come together and start, safely, doing what we can, not saying like get a bar open and have a bunch of people sit next to each other and cough on each other, but obviously we can all go to Walmart, we can all go to Kroger, wear our masks and stay away from each other. There's no reason why we can't do certain things, open certain music venues safely, seating, not talking about standing room.
Yeah.
And
I think
actually
that's one of the biggest arguments in this whole thing is that concept of, like why is Walmart and Kroger, a free for all but mom and pop, this, that are being forced to shut down. And it's
confusing because there's a lot of different viewpoints on it. But I think at least the way I look at it is if we were to just stop kind of like looking at this two-sided argument that seems to be presented to us, and actually thought about like us as humans on this planet and in this situation, we could do a lot better.
What do you think, Bonnie?
All I know about all this COVID stuff is that I work in a facility and I see about 85 elderly people a day. And almost every single one of those people have not touched their family since March of last year.
Yeah.
All I want from all of this is for them to be able to see their families again. Because I mean,
do you think that's fair? Do you think that's an appropriate caution?
No, because we've seen what it does to other facilities and how fast it goes through other facilities. And
so you think it is an appropriate precaution?
I think everything that our director has done, I stand beside.
Gotcha.
Very.
Yeah.
And you work for
Sharon Brook Assisted Living.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you say I've worked for assisted living it was partly assisted and also partly healthcare and partly like condos of rich people downtown. But
fair.
Oh yeah, these people moved in when they were 50 and just lived there for 40 years and like
whatever.
And the buildings like it was like $250,000 moving to this fucking place. Anyway.
Lovely.
But when you work in a facility like that, it kind of changes your perspective on certain things. There's one thing I noticed, and I was a heavy smoker when I worked there, but I was like, I don't see any residents smoking. Like if I did, it was very far and few, like one with a pipe outside, sneaking his pipe, but like there was one thing I always kept in the back of my mind, like,
there's a reason for that.
Right, there's a reason I don't see any smokers out here.
We have, I think, one resident that smokes cigars every once in a while.
Right.
That's something that, smoking a cigar every once in a while isn't actually that big a deal, I mean, especially since there's a lot of people, if you talk to cigar smokers, a lot of cigar smokers don't inhale. And, that cuts down, like, chance of any, actual, like lung disease, like almost by probably 90%.
Yeah, because you don't inhale it.
You're not inhaling it at all.
Yeah.
And then, the only thing you have to worry about that is, gum disease, and I don't know. I don't know if it affects heart disease at that point because I don't know how much you're really getting ingested through your mouth. But, I mean, a lot of cigar smokers stuff that's not even really unsafe. But
Yeah, cigarettes are
Cigarettes
unsafe
are
and trash. Yeah, I've dabbled back. I quit smoking for a while, and then I started smoking again, like
when you start working,
shortly after.
like the construction,
Yeah,
yeah,
shortly after, and I don't think it didn't have anything to do with the construction. Like
changing life though.
It was weird.
it
I
changed
remember
your
the moment.
lifestyle quite a bit. I mean,
I remember the moment I was driving home, and I wanted a non-filtered cigarette for like not like a Nick Fit. You know what? You know when you know a Nick Fit, right? You don't
what do you mean? Like when you just
when you don't
You
have
see
a cigarette for
someone
a
smoking.
while, and you're like, oh, that urge to have one.
I mean, I have like urges to smoke. I've quit smoking, a million times, and I haven't smoked at this point now in over 2 years,
yeah,
probably 3 years almost. I stopped. I didn't look. I didn't. I think that might have been what it was for me. I didn't count the day when I quit.
congrats, man. It was
Yeah.
3 years for me, so we quit about the same time. But I don't know. I had this romanticized vision of me having a heavy drink like gin or something.
Having a cigarette,
And well, I was thinking like to me a filterless would be like like a cigar,
for sure.
that sort of thing. And I was like,
I've had that same thought about.
and then I did it and I didn't stop, and I'm still struggling. Like I'm not smoking right now, but I had a cigarette last
all right.
night. I went out to Lucky's and had a smoke, or I went out.
Hey man, to be honest with you, to be really honest, I'm really jealous of you right now. I'm not gonna lie, I constantly, not constantly, but daily, I'm all the time thinking about having a smoke or a dip, which is what's weird because I didn't expect. Because I used to dip a little bit too, and to be honest with you, I think about both these things quite a lot. Like stressed out in traffic. I wish I could light a cigarette, man. And it's just like I don't know. It's that constant decision not to, and then like that knowing like. I used to tell myself, and that was the thing, I never could quit because I would tell myself, you can smoke while drinking. It's okay. It's fair. It's fair game. And it's not,
That's
man.
a slippery slope.
It is so slippery. I've probably quit smoking and started back up 3 or 4 times just because, like, I went out drinking and I bought us a pack of smokes because Lord knows I need a pack of Marlboro Reds when I'm having a gin. And, and it's just, you play a set, you're drinking gin, you go out for your break. That cigarette, I think you know what I mean.
Yeah.
She definitely knows what I fucking mean.
Well, I think I'm more disappointed in
Not
myself
with gin.
because I went 3 years. I didn't have an urge.
You didn't
you
have
guys,
the urge?
you guys didn't. No, when I quit, like I quit. Like I didn't think about it.
Really?
I would go out. I would go stand outside with you guys.
I didn't realize you were a smoker, so I guess that doesn't, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's something I verbalize a lot. I feel like it helps me, when I'm drinking, especially. Like I'm a little tipsy right now. That's probably why I really want a cigarette. But like, if I'm drinking, if I'm out, like that's like when it's really bad, and I'll stand with the smokers, and I'll sit there and I'll ask Bonnie for a cigarette.
See,
I
I could stand with the smokers, and I was fine, and I was proud of that. I never.
Yeah, I like it,
I
though.
very rarely
I did it
would
because
would-
I needed it.
unless I like genuinely knew somebody was trying to quit or whatever. I like, hey, it's bad for go that route. But most of the time, I just felt good. Like I
Yeah.
don't have to smoke
It
to
doesn't-
be
it's
around the smokers. Like,
Yeah.
and I felt great, and I'm very disappointed in myself when I jumped back on it. And made myself jump back. It wasn't because I was wanting.
Warney wasn't
I
pressure.
wasn't like, oh man, I really need a cigarette. I was like, I was just, as I said, I was like romanticizing
Felt
the
nice.
idea
It was a
of
good
it. The idea of like
So-
sunset with a gin and
Did it
this
make you
seems
sick?
picture perfect.
Did it make you sick? Did it make your stomach a little achy?
No,
Really? Every time I started smoking again, man, that first cigarette was like, ooh.
It's
This
'cause
is
it's
kinda
your
gross.
conscience.
no, but this
Then it
time
was,
around,
like, so easy.
this time around, I know how bad I smell. I smell myself all the fucking time.
One cigarette, man, dude, and that's even like being around someone smoking will make you smell like cigarettes, and
Yeah.
like it's something like I haven't smoked in a while, and we lived, Jacqueline and I lived in our apartment in By a Lake for a few years, and I quit smoking early on when we started living there, so and we never smoked inside except for like random occasions when I either was nasty out or we were drinking and we had friends over and it was a rule break night or whatever, usually we smoke outside. So we moved in with her mom just about a year ago, because she has a big house to share, and we decided we'd split the bill. Well, she pays rent, we pay bills, basically split down the middle almost. Either way, she smokes. She smokes in the house, and I'd love for her to stop, but I just don't think that's going to happen. That's a whole nother.
I've always hated inside smoking. Even when I was a heavy smoker, like I never smoked inside my houses.
I smoked into my car, but
yeah, my car's a little different. I put the windows down.
I didn't like my car smell like butts, so like I either used a butt collector or I stuck it out the window, which I learned when you.
Well, my car smells like butt, but that's for a completely different reason.
Yeah, it is. It's the butt stick. And so when I would put the cigarette out the window, I realized that rabbits eat those. Rabbits, for some reason, are attracted to cigarette butts. They'll eat the cigarette butts, and they can't digest them. So it's kind of disgusting, but I saw online once somebody cut a dead rabbit and like straight down the center, man, like a side, what do they call it? Like a side view, the center of this, rabbit, and it's just literally chock full of cigarette. It's chock full of cigarette butts, like from its esophagus all the way down the stomach. It died because of that, and I was just like, well, I'm not gonna stick my cigarette butts outside the car anymore.
Time to go to non-filters.
Well, and I never got into that. I don't know. I was really particular. Started smoking Swisher Sweet like cigarettes. The ones you get in a pack. Yeah, dude. Because a gentleman I was working with smoked them, and they smelled really sweet. And I always liked a cigar here and there. That
little taste in your lips.
Yep, exactly. And that was what did it. Because I bummed one from him. Because I would bum cigarettes here and there ever since I was 16. Like here and there. And then, I was probably about 18 when I started really smoking, and I tried this, and I was like, oh man, this is fucking good. I was like, this tastes great. I like smoking it. It was really rough, which I liked. I don't know why. I like that, like, I like to feel it in your lung, I don't know. It's something.
Yeah, that's the one thing that, like, was hard for me to, like, when I've tried quitting in the past. It's that breathing it in. That was the part of it. It wasn't the habit of the fingers.
Exactly. It was the actual inhalation. Like when that smoke hits your lung and you absorb that nicotine.
Well, hopefully I get COVID because if I do, then maybe I'll quit again.
That's how I quit.
Because that's
not COVID, but I got sick.
That's how I quit too.
I had a really nasty cold, and I
had an infection.
I can't smoke when I'm sick, man. It just makes me worse because I get like sinus infections and shit. And I quit smoking while I was sick. I was sick for like 2 weeks, and by the end of the 2 weeks, I hadn't smoked a cigarette in over a week. And I was like, well, I know if I smoke a cigarette now, like I said, every time first cigarette I get sick. My tummy hurts.
Yeah,
I just didn't do it.
I quit because I had an infection playing ping pong in my body, and my lungs were mostly affected, so like they were on fire. And then when I had to take FMLA off of work and all this stuff, and then when I was finally healthy 3 months later, I was like, I think I quit smoking. Score.
Somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
You ever quit smoking?
Yeah.
How many times? The only smoker in the room. Well, the only like full-time smoker in the room. Because I know you're like dabbling right now, but
I don't really like to talk about being a full-time smoker.
Well, I didn't mean it like that.
I mean, I quit. I've quit so many times. Because when I started smoking, it was I just did it to do it. Because I was dumb.
I mean, my mom always.
No, honestly,
like
I had a boyfriend, I think, told me I couldn't. And I was just dumb.
That's literally exactly what my mom. Like,
and
it's literally why my mom smokes.
I quit. The longest I've quit's probably like 2 years, and then my grandma passed away. And as soon as my aunt told me, like, she's not awake, I was like, give me a cigarette.
When Carl and I split up, that was my like a stressor for me.
There's 911 cigarettes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I used to keep one in my car.
Really?
Just in case I got into a horrible accident and I was stuck in my seat, I would have like that one little.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never kept an emergency cigarette.
It's weird.
That's cool.
Sometimes.
No, I'm into it. Actually,
I mean, I guess
I would have.
No, I can't say that. When I did quit, I'd always have like 2 or 3 in a pack that I just have in a purse.
Just like a reminder.
And then I'd just be like, ping, find that purse.
It's your reserves. At least that's how I would consider it.
Every time I decided to quit, it was like, either finish the pack or I threw it away, which I usually just finish the pack. But like, I'm not a wasteful guy, you know. But like, I don't know. I just never like thought to keep like, what if I want to start again, or what if I need a cigarette again? I guess I don't know. But
Yeah, it's stressful through shit. It's funny you don't consider the money you spend on those fucking things until you go to throw a pack away,
that's true.
and you don't consider smoking them
And
throwing
they
away.
go up all the time. How much?
Yeah,
how much is
I
it now?
really should know better.
No, I mean it. Like I said, you know,
Well, I mean,
I was
shame on.
I was
I
coming. I
moved-
was coming back with Camel non-filters. Those are almost $10.
I moved up here to
And-
take care of my uncle that had lung cancer.
My grandma
so-
died of lung cancer, so I mean, it's not. You can't like.
How does
you
that-
can't you can't look at yourself and say
How does that make
I
you
shouldn't be
feel?
smoking. You know.
Like, is that like I've never experienced going through that, but like going through
Like,
that with somebody, but and also
You don't want to
smoking.
hear my life story because it's sad.
I
mean, I moved
we all
up
have sad
here
tales.
and I took care. I mean, he had lung cancer that turned into brain cancer, and he passed away. 2 weeks later, my boyfriend passed away.
You had a boyfriend that passed away.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm
He
sorry.
was from down in Waverly, Ohio.
Where's Waverly? I suck at names.
It's in
it's
between
down
Chillicothe and Portsmouth.
Ah, okay. I know that.
Yeah.
Like what, like 2 hours south, basically.
Yeah, 2 hours about from here. But yeah, that was a whole thing. And then I just decided to stay up here
I'm glad.
because I was gonna go back home, but when he passed away, I just was like, I'll just stay up here.
What?
And
If you don't mind me asking, how did he pass?
he was allergic to bees, and he was catching chickens. And, like, I guess ran into tall grass and disturbed, like, a hornet's nest that was in the ground.
That's
And I mean, he was a big
like, that's-
boy.
that's-
He was a 6'4", 300 some pounds. Like,
dude. That is dude. That's reminded me of My Girl. Like that end of that.
oh my
movie.
gosh, Chelsea Winkler says that all the time. You're
Oh.
you're my girl.
Have you seen the movie?
Yeah,
I've never.
Oh,
yeah. I saw that movie after.
What's
the
that?
fact.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry you had to watch that.
I mean, we
It's
we had
Macaulay
dated.
Culkin. It's a great fucking movie.
We had dated, like when I was 17, turning 18, and then we had like split paths, and then met back up in like 2012, and like basically picked up where we left off, and then we ended up like breaking up like a week before he passed. And I had went down there the day that he passed to try to talk to him, and he wasn't answering me. And I made it up here. Took 2 hours to get here, and I was up here about 30 minutes before my friend called me and told me he was gone. Wow. And so I spent the night, and I drove back down there, and basically, like, just went around town trying to find our friends or something to do until like the funeral and viewing and all that.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I imagine it's tough. I've never experienced
Yeah, I've never been.
somebody
through
I've
that.
been with passing. You know, that's
I haven't personally never. I mean, the only death I've actually experienced is my grandmother. You know, it's the only thing I can't even compare.
Yeah,
to.
and then I
don't-
lost grandma 2 years after that. And that one, that one alone was the hardest one on me that
Yeah.
I've dealt with.
you
I
know,
mean, I could imagine. I mean, my grandma meant a lot to me. You know, obviously, I didn't have a mom, so I mean, she helped raise me, and then I'm still not even sure to this day that I've come to terms with it. To be honest, I don't know. I don't think about it a lot, like her passing. I just, you know, but
Yeah, because when my parents split up, and I lived with my dad and my grandma and Aunt Susie and Tony until I think I was 5 when he remarried and we moved to Waverly. So it's like,
my grandma introduced my dad to my stepmom, who because I don't know, earlier I guess I made it sound real sad. I don't have a mom, like I do, you know. I have a mom. She's ever since I've been about 8, my dad.
you had a reverse situation. Most people, you know, when parents split up, they stay with the mom, and the dad just kind of does his own thing.
Yeah.
Your situation was inverted.
It's definitely a different, I don't know, a different way to have a split family. That's for sure.
yeah. I'm the same way. My dad
Yeah.
had full custody of me. at 10
Yeah, and
months
I
old.
think it's
Well, look
just
at that. You guys have some
Yeah,
common ground.
yeah, we're
that way.
more learning more.
yeah, we're like two peas in a pod. Yeah,
Aren't there multiple peas in a pod?
sometimes, but we haven't found those band members yet. We also can't afford those band members, to be real honest.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know. I had fun growing up with my dad.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said, my dad was an alcoholic, so there's like some touch and go there. What I can say is, my dad may not be the greatest dad, but he's taught me a lot. And I mean, I get I like to think that I have a pretty high moral standing, and I like I said, honesty is one of my biggest things, and I don't, I tend to be a pretty respectful person when it's due. That's something I've learned myself, is not to give respect when it's not due. But he taught me a lot, and so I mean, and he always, the thing is, like, I look back at it, and I mean, he was there, whereas my mother, like I said, I don't know, obviously she had issues, and I don't really know, like I said, really a whole lot about those issues.
Yeah, I don't know.
She wasn't there, and I can tell you right now, she didn't make much of an effort, because if she had made much of an effort, to this day, I mean, I see her on Facebook, because I have an older sister.
She's just another person.
Yeah. And that's, I've never, I don't wish anything negative against her. It's just, it's exactly that. And that's exactly my outlook has been since I've probably been about 13. She is just another person in this world. Like I said, I have a mom. My stepmom is taking great care of me. She's best mom in the world, if you ask me, you know what I mean? And she's nothing but a mom to me,
Where's your mom, Bonnie?
My mom in Newark at Kevin's.
Oh, yeah, fuck. You
At
said that earlier.
At Kevin's.
But you're, okay.
Planning a wedding.
Okay, that's right.
Planning a wedding.
That's
yeah.
right now. I remember.
That's a whole topic.
Me and Mom, we've always had a good relationship. Like, when I was young, I don't, remember much from being younger, honestly. But
Why did your dad have custody?
I have never gotten the story of why my life is the way it was.
I feel like that's unfair to you, personally.
Yeah, that's
It was a lot of, oh, ask her or you ask him. But I think that it was just such a they were different people back then, and I think they're worried at how I'm going to feel about how they were back then to each other, or just as people in general. My dad has said that I changed his life like a great deal. So I imagine he was, being a musician in the 70s and 80s, most likely doing some drugs and drinking. And the same with Mom. Like, Mom has other kids, so
what I view it as is probably, they having a child, like you said, his dad said it changed him,
I was an accident. They say I was a surprise.
There's so many kids.
So I think that's just why it didn't.
It changed both their lives in such drastic ways that it separated them, in a way.
I think I knew more people that were an accident or a surprise, than I do who were planned.
And then there's all the kids who their parents said they were planned and they weren't. Let's be honest, It's not.
But and by planned I mean
predict.
we knew the risk.
Exactly. That's exactly what I say about my son, is because, like, we had talked about the risks. Obviously, we had talked about the risks, and we had made the conscious decision not to prevent it. So that's planning,
right.
it, in a sense.
I don't know. I think
then
I
again,
was a late night party baby.
like one night stand,
yeah,
that sort of thing.
I mean, who knows? Like, I honestly, I don't know. I don't know if my parents dated. I don't know. I really don't.
Asking? Or?
I mean,
well, you said one direction
I've
to the other.
asked, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's fair. It's.
Do your mom and dad still communicate?
No.
I
mean, they barely communicated growing up. Like, they were good at when it came to me.
So, like,
but other than that, it was.
You don't know if they were, like, dating.
They were dating.
They were definitely dating at the time.
All I know is they
really our business.
I was born in February. They got married in March, and, like, I'm pretty sure divorced in December. But I don't even know if that's true.
I know a little bit about
that's
that.
like something that I remember it being something like that said, and that's something that, I don't even know if that's true. Who knows?
It'd be what it
Might have
be.
got that from one of the soaps or Springer.
I got that from Jerry Springer.
Oh lordy.
Oh, that's what I grew up on. Springer, Law and Order.
Law and Order. Dun dun.
Which Special Victims Unit?
Yeah,
Is that the one?
Always.
Honestly, I
Dun dun.
with my parents, we watched the original one. I forgot the guy's name, the older guy, man. He had, I don't know, he had the always peppered hair, you know.
I know you're talking about.
But the original Law and Order, I just loved that show,
He always
my
walking.
parents
Well,
would watch it.
anyway, here's what to do. Yeah, he was very,
exactly,
very
yeah.
nonchalant.
Yeah.
Very
Very
matter-
nonchalant.
Not matter of fact.
Like he could have just found a dead body and been like very nonchalant about it.
He's telling you like about this homicide the same way he would send back a steak at a restaurant. Well, it just wasn't prepared well enough. There you go.
I love the show. And SVU too, though. Special Victims Unit is a great show. I think that's what I think SVU set the course for what we know now, and shows like CSI and NCIS and all these
Whatever the other initials we have.
right, all these cop drama,
all this fucking shit that
I like to
sprung
call them
off that
municipal
shit.
dramas because now you got fire ones and ER ones, some municipal dramas is what I like to call them.
I'll just fucking watch
The Office, municipal.
I
fucking
just watch.
Parks and Rec.
Forensic Files, man.
Yeah, murder shows.
Yeah,
That's all I watch.
Jacqueline's got me on that. She's all about but that's where she goes into because I don't watch TV. I don't go out of my way to watch a movie. I don't go out of my way to watch TV. If it were up to me, I'd put an album on, or I'd play a video game, or something I can get into. Because this TV doesn't always do it for me. I don't know why, but she's very visual. She loves watching TV. She loves. Whether it be a comfort show or just something about murders because she's into the mystery, and maybe
I think
mildly-
everyone really, really, really watches those shows because they look at it and they're like,
sometimes
well, I would have done this differently.
I'm gonna be
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
and-
real honest with you. Watching
That
these shows
was
with her,
actually a good idea.
sometimes I convince this is the reason I don't get a WebMD. I might be mildly gullible. I've convinced myself I am a serial killer who decided not to kill. I don't know. It's just watching
Good to
these
know.
shows makes you
All right, everybody, thank you for joining the podcast. We're going to end this suddenly.
And then you just hear.
We're going to end this suddenly before it's ended for us.
that actually
Gurgling noise.
that really reminds me. Is it you ever been?
Why would, hold on, let's not gloss over this. What do you like? Is this because
Is this
you
rumors?
consistently want to kill people?
No, but watching
Explain
shows
this desire
and I think what
of
I'm
murder.
not. I was probably exaggerating when I said I'm a serial killer. But
I hope so.
shows like Criminal.
I don't want the
You hope
inside
so,
tea.
what?
How well do you know your band member?
Well enough. Don't worry about it. Come on, stop asking so many questions.
Or
The
else.
hat. It's the hat.
Or else, it's the hat. Take that off.
The moment I saw it.
So, I mean, a show like Criminal Minds, they put you in the mind of of killers, and they base all these, these killers. Obviously, they're not real people, but they base them all off of mostly real people, in real events.
Situations, yeah.
Yeah, and things
Cases.
that have actually happened, and they sometimes will paint pictures of mentally ill killers, and a great deal of the time these mentally ill people are literally just mentally ill and have had a psychotic break, and it makes you sympathize with a killer, and I mean a lot of these shows end up doing that, in a sense, and I don't mean to justify in any sort of way, because obviously killing's wrong, and killing's nothing I don't think I could ever do unless I had to.
Now we're backpedaling.
No, I want to go back
Mildly.
to Western days where you pissed me off. Pow, pow.
Eye for an eye. Bonnie's an eye for an eye chick.
I am.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because part of me feels that way sometimes, about certain things, but it doesn't work that way with everything.
Right, not everything.
A kid goes into a grocery store, a kid living off the street or from bad upbringing, living in a bad part of town, goes in a grocery store and steals fucking, some soda, some chips and shit, should we kill him?
No.
They would have killed him back then, though.
Or chopped his hands off.
Yeah, or done something that, traumatic that
Well,
probably wasn't necessary.
I mean, yeah,
But then
maybe
but then there's
in
pedophiles.
Aladdin days, they chop your hands off.
But you know,
And now I'm getting that obviously from the movie Aladdin.
historical reference, you know.
Yeah, well, also the documentary Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. So,
Even more historical reference.
right,
But,
starring
I mean,
Kevin Costner.
Yeah, you know. But then there's like there's crimes like you rape anyone. Honestly, you know that's I feel like that is just kind of
Yeah.
like an ultimate crime in any way. But then then there's like pedophilia. Like you know what? Sometimes I feel like maybe these people don't need to be here. You know.
Yeah.
But that's a slippery slope as it is.
Well,
And
it's a weird thing with
it's a-
pedophilia, like how people are like trying to.
I don't know how anyone could ever like look at it and say it's maybe it is a mental illness or whatever.
Well,
or
if you
sexual
consider
orientation.
a murderer as murdering somebody with mental illness, I would-
That's an act that was committed through mental illness, maybe, and rape can be the same thing. But there again, like,
but what is mental illness? When
think
you come to
that's
when
the
you
thing.
say use this umbrella term of mental
That's the
illness,
thing,
is
yeah.
is it mental illness because it's not normal, or is it mental illness because there's something wrong in your fucking brain?
Right.
Now, listen, I'm not defending pedophile.
No,
but
I know
what
what
I'm
you mean.
saying is like,
People are born that way. I think sometimes.
like where does like passion and mental illness, or is there a blurry line there? Like when somebody murders somebody and they don't really show regret, like,
They're sociopath. There's a name for that.
Right,
There's a name
but-
for a lot of these things.
but like, I don't know.
There's a lot
I'm
of
not smart enough to
I feel like there's a
even
lot of vagueness when it
try
comes
to dive into that.
to
But
mental disorder because one, it's not something we've studied wholly for a long time. Look back in like the 50s and 60s, a lot of mental disorder, like there wasn't mental disorder in the 50s.
Yeah.
There was very little of it. There was like
Oh, yeah,
there was
my-
the extreme cases, and then there was now I think there's a little better understanding of what mental illness might be, but then I think coming with that, there's like this, like you said, a blanket term like this is this very broad spectrum of like what mental illness could be now.
Well, I think spectrum is a very good word for most mental anything.
Yeah. Because it's nothing's ever the same when it comes to something.
There's no black and white about
exactly.
it.
There's no line. You said blurry line earlier. Exactly that. There is
Right.
no line to follow.
But my grandmother, she, I am 90% positive that she was very undiagnosed autistic, and she just looked at the world through a very interesting lens, And she would even tell you, she goes, "Oh, the doctor told me I was born with a bubble in my brain." It's like, and she was dead fucking serious, like,
Because that's exactly what she was told her whole life.
or that's what she perceived, what she was told, like, but yeah, that was taken that way back then, and now you understand there's something
more that
going
goes
on
into
there.
it, yeah. There's a lot more to
I've
it.
always wondered what spectrum is. Like, where does this? Is spectrum a line, or is like I always kind of imagine, is spectrum a ring?
I always look at it like literally a spectrum of colors. That's at least that's where I always compare it to, because like spectrum of colors is like there's red and there's blue, but how many different hues of red and blue are there?
Well, the way I look at things, specifically with how people use their minds. Let's look at somebody who, like Rain Man. Okay, the classic
I've only seen
autistic.
a little bit of that movie, but
Okay,
I
well,
get what you're saying.
he can remember numbers. He knows numbers. He studies
Right.
numbers, and numbers is his thing. And he remembers details,
Right.
childhood, whatever. And then you have someone like Elon Musk, who is just, or any genius,
do the same type of thing, but
but they're more socially.
it's a social aspect.
They're more social with. They know how to handle social situations
Yeah.
better than other people, but like, where's that? Is that part of the spectrum? Like, this is what I mean
That's a
by ring of
curious question.
spectrum. Like, at what point in time does it become genius,
And-
on all cylinders, to
Mentally
genius?
handicapped.
Not even mentally handicapped, just genius in certain cylinders. You know, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
His cylinders they're all firing, you know, at once. I wouldn't consider my cylinders firing, you know, like I'm pretty
fair.
good at certain things. I'm pretty shitty at other things.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's how
But, like,
most of us lie.
and that's my point is like, I think when people start looking at the autism as a spectrum, I think that they really hit the nail on the head with
It's not
with that comparison. But where is it? Like, and I think everybody at some point in time is on the spectrum in some way or another, but we define mental illness on normality. You know,
Yeah.
what's normal to you? What's
exactly.
normal to you?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Is it noticeable?
well, you know, like Zane Harshaw, you know, from
Yeah,
Blue Spectrum.
absolutely.
You know, you talk to Zane, you know, like, hey, Zane, how you doing? And he's like, hey, how are you? And he looks down. And he doesn't really make too much eye contact, and your conversation
It's not super social.
right. He's missing the social cues. Well,
That most of us just pick up on.
Right. We say he's missing them,
Right.
you know, because that's not what we consider
Because what we're
normal.
used to, yeah.
You know, and
But is he? Right.
right.
Yeah,
You know,
you're right.
like
Or is he just ahead of us
it's.
in a way?
I think,
So you know, that's what I actually wonder about a lot, because you see like so much, like, you know, these spectrum, these, you know, children and people on the spectrum who are so incredibly talented or so incredibly smart, but yeah, they just lack like a social cue, or social cues, or they seem to lack like
empathy.
You know, is that a handicap? Is that a mental disorder, or is that what we don't realize might be beyond what, you know, our own mental capacities?
Yeah, is this the early
what I
stages of an evolution that we don't understand?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, not to get into like, you know, too deep of evolution.
Oh, God.
You know, because you get an evolution, obviously that
But
some
hold on,
people feel
hold on.
opposed
I
on
want
that.
to hear Bonnie's opinion. on
Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
I don't even know where we are anymore.
Talking about all sorts of
I'm
shit.
just looking at stuff.
We're talking about social cues in the spectrum and the possible evolution of mental health. Come on, get with it.
Oh Lord.
I don't know. I've had 3 beers. I'm feeling 4.
I didn't eat before I came here and had a few gin. That's a number.
Is the conversation getting too deep?
Just chilling, man.
I feel bad.
We were going down there a bit.
Well, I love going down there.
That's a good point though. I mean, you know, the whole, like, you know, we don't understand what we're studying yet, I think, is where it kind of boils down to. We don't get where our minds actually head to. They say, what's the percentage of the human brain that, you know, we have unlocked its use?
I don't fucking know. Dude. I've heard so many goddamn fucking numbers.
But supposedly it ain't.
It's a
even
different number
close.
every time I hear it.
Yeah, but it's
Oh, we only use
never,
10% of our brain. Well, we actually use 90% of our brain.
If we're truly using 10% of our brain, I mean, what the fuck can our brain do? You know, that we don't realize yet.
Why are we? What? Yeah. I mean, why are we only using 10% of it?
Right. It's just something we're, you know.
It's like saying I'm
we've
using.
evolved into like not
That's
knowing.
you could tell me you're only
Is it too
using
scary?
10% of your finger. The fuck does that mean?
I know. I think that's way different though, because like,
I don't know. Is it
A physical-
I don't fucking know.
Wow, the finger is
I
a
just
physical
know what people tell me,
thing.
and I've heard different numbers. I mean, could my
Physical
if I
thing.
really wanted to, could my finger go this way? Could, you know, like
No,
not
see,
obviously
it's physical
physics, but-
limitations, something like that.
yeah.
But like, we don't understand how the brain works. We understand how our finger works. We understand how the electrons get there to tell our finger what to do, but we don't quite understand all of why it does what it does up there. That's what's pretty interesting, I think, about the brain and us as human beings.
As human beings.
Beings, you know,
I think Bonnie's brain is shutting down.
No.
we may have run off the. We are, you know, a country act, and we are talking about. It's not music anymore.
I'm just.
But no,
chilling.
it's
What does
fun.
Bonnie want to talk about?
What's something that I don't know, either excites you or infuriates you, or you know,
Besides me.
any emotion in between?
I mean, I don't know. I go to work, I go home. Like, there's nothing really that infuriates me.
Dang, I wish I could live that way.
What about that one time I was sending you like dream messages and Do you remember that?
Dream messages, like you did, like you were sleep messaging. Is that
Yeah.
what you mean?
Yeah, I remember that.
It was like sleepwalking.
I was just kind of like, I hope
Like
he's
mumbling,
alright.
but ending up typing it into message, huh?
Dude, I had a roommate, and he was telling me that I was pacing the floor out here. Like, I don't
Really?
remember any of this shit.
I was worried.
Dude, I was.
I've always been like worried about like developing something like a sleepwalk. Like, 'cause I feel like I'd end up hurting myself. I have like stairs all around the house, you know,
Right? Oh my god!
All around, like,
Could
just
you,
randomly?
Could you imagine?
like walking off like
Right? Oh, especially
you've
the
probably never
attic
seen my
stairs.
attic. Yeah, I mean, I have like
Oh my god, they're scary.
the way my attic is. It's a finished attic, and like where the stairs are, you know, they turn, and then there's like you know, floor right there though, there's no railing though, you know, above the stairs, so you could just like look down the stairs, you know, from the top of the attic.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And
Yeah.
well, there's no rail. Imagine if I was somebody was sleepwalking, you know,
Right? Just tomple on down there.
it's right down there. That could hurt, man. It'll wake you right up.
Right?
But I don't know. How's sleepwalking for you?
I don't really sleepwalk too much.
Just sleep text.
No,
That's worse.
my thing is like I have very vivid dreams. A lot of them I need to listen to, I think. I don't know. I don't
Is that what like your sleep texting and walking up is like? Is it like your head trying to tell you to pay more attention to your dreams?
No, I think I'm talking to somebody. Like I'm talking to somebody in some way or another. It's weird. I get really weird to talk about it. Like it's. I feel like there's a division. Like there's a wall between realities. And sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I can see through the wall, or like there's a hole.
Different
and I
like
can peek through it.
dimensions or
Sure.
Okay.
Why not? I have no idea. It could be. I don't know. I've had a lot of answers, questions answered. I've had a lot of.
This kind of delves back into the whole brain thing, you know. Dreams are something. Dreams are something that elude me because I don't. And it's probably because I'm a regular user of cannabis, which I've read has a bit to do with how much of a dream you can kind of remember, or how much you dream sometimes. Because I don't remember dreams barely ever. Occasionally,
I keep dream journals because they're so.
yeah, I wish
vivid.
I sometimes, because you know it's funny. I don't know if it's funny. Like Jacqueline dreams a lot. She has nightmares a lot, or you know what she calls a nightmare. And then I ask her sometimes to like describe them to me, you know, because I'm curious. And then like some of these dreams seem like, or nightmares seem like dreams I've, you know, similar in aspects to dreams I do remember, but like I didn't consider a nightmare, you know. So it makes me wonder, like, you know, if I can remember all my dreams, what would I consider a nightmare, you know? Because I don't think I've ever woken up and thought, man, that was a nightmare. I've woken up and thought, man, that's a fucking weird dream. You know, I mean, I've had dreams where like family members are killing each other, and I have some weird ass dreams. I think, you know,
That would be a nightmare. I think.
Yeah.
see, and that's
Well, except for unless
I
you're
never-
a serial killer,
Right.
that might be-
Oh yeah.
maybe
okay.
I'm right.
then that might be just like, you know, a casual like fucking dream. I don't
Maybe
fucking
I'm
know.
right about
The
that.
only
then.
time I
but I
dream,
mean, legitimately, I don't wake up scared ever. I
Only
don't
time you
feel-
dream what, buddy?
only time I dream is that like, if I like wake up in the middle of the night and I go back to sleep, I'll dream like, I feel like I'm not 100% asleep, but I'm not awake. But those are the only dreams I remember. So if I dream
like-
at night, then
Like you feel like you can see things around you still.
yeah.
Do you
you're
ever
aware.
physically feel differently, like
Like
in the situations?
What do they call that?
I mean, I
Awareness
feel
during
myself
sleep
like
paralysis.
I can find myself like I can feel myself coming in like in and out sometimes, but like I don't think I've ever had sleep paralysis.
Yeah, awareness during sleep paralysis. I think that's what I was.
But then I guess I think of like my aunt has sleep paralysis sometimes, and it's like a scary sleep paralysis.
It can be. I've
I've
had
heard
it.
things like
I've had it a
sleep
handful of
paralysis
times.
demons.
It,
I've never
I know it.
understood that.
I've had it probably about 4 or 5 times in my life, and it is very intense because you are, you wake. It's like you're waking up, but like you're still in dream state.
Waking up into a dream, essentially.
Well, no, you're waking up and the dream just follows you. That's what it's more like. And for me, like I'll hear voices, and I'll see figures in the distance, and sometimes I think the most intense one is where I like something was right in front of me, and I had somebody sleeping next to me, and I wanted to wake them up and like say, hey, like because when it's happening, it's happening. You're like, I'm going through a paralysis, but like you're still dreaming, and like but the paralysis part of it is that because your body kind of locks itself up when you're sleeping, so you don't like randomly like
punch somebody or
do that. So like when you wake up and you're still in that trance, you can't talk, you can't scream, you can't really move. So like I'm trying to get somebody's attention next to me, like and I'm you can't do it.
You can't.
But you still like your dream state still like this thing is still seemingly in front of you, and some people interpret this as like something sitting on their chest, and I felt it once where my head was numb and like my arms were like tingly, and I saw this lady like floating in my room and stuff, but like I've never experienced like the chest sitting that people claim, but I can understand. I can relate to its how realistic it is.
I've always been quite curious because, like I said, I don't even before I was a regular smoker. I don't think I ever dreamed a whole. And like I said, like dreams to me never even like the scary ones. I always, and I don't think it's because I'm a truly serial killer. It's more or less a joke, more or less. But I think it's more or less because I've always realized like it's a dream. You wake up and it's a dream. Like it was weird, it was scary, but like it's literally a dream, and it's not actually real. So I don't know. I've always been, and I don't know if it sounds weird, but I'm almost vaguely envious of vivid dreaming. Maybe I don't want like the whole sleep paralysis thing, but like I kind of feel like I would quite enjoy living a dream. I don't know, but that's for perspective for someone who doesn't have much of a dream life.
I'm living the dream.
Jesus Christ, Bonnie. Don't lie to me.
I don't know. All I know is that when I sent Bonnie a
sleep text,
fucking train of messages.
No, it wasn't just
what was it? So like, what did he
it was
say?
a lot of cursing and a lot of don't do's and stuff. Like it really didn't make sense. I was honestly really fucking worried about
That's
him.
wild.
And like we didn't really know each other that long either.
Yeah.
Like,
and I drink whiskey.
And he was like, the next day he was like, look. And I was like, it's cool. Like I was just worried that you like stroked out.
No, yeah, because I was having a dream. I think, if I remember correctly, I was having a dream where I was in an argument with somebody on a train, about a train, at a train station. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But there was something about a train, and like I was having this argument with this lady, and apparently what I was yelling at this fucking woman, I was texting Bonnie like nonsense, like, but whatever I was dreaming about, I was texting her, and like I remember one thing was like something about dick in your mouth, like shit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it was vivid.
I was like,
it was extreme.
Wow.
I'm worried about this person.
Yeah. Like Robert got involved. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I had to like apologize for Robert. I don't remember.
I think
too
it
much.
all was just kind of
That's
like
insane. Or
Well-
not insane. I think that's the wrong word for it. Maybe insensitive.
It's just
wild.
I think this is weird to say, but like You have people that are sensitive to other things. You have people that are mediums that are sensitive to the dead. You have people that are sensitive to whatever. I feel like sometimes I float, like I'm in this weird like middle of things, like where I get little teasers of stuff, and it leaves me in a very confused state sometimes of how to handle situations, or I just haven't dipped my foot enough into it.
I was gonna say, I think
to
it's
dive
probably,
into these things.
It's probably more that you're unaware than it is.
Well, when it comes to like spirituality and stuff like that, I've dove into those things, and I didn't like what I experienced, so I brought myself back from it.
What do you mean, if you don't mind me asking?
I just deleted the page like literally 3 days ago, but I used to run a paranormal team called the DEAD Team, which is an acronym for the Defunct Evidence and Detection Team. And for years, I kind of just did paranormal research, loosely, quote unquote. I had some people hire me to go out to their houses. We actually got some video evidence. We had like a full body apparition caught on camera once. It was a really cool thing.
I just want to, before you 100% believe in ghosts, spirits?
I 100% believe in things that we call ghosts and spirits, yes.
Okay, continue. I'm curious now. That's something recently that I've thought a lot about, because I used to be very strictly like, no God, no ghosts. If you can't see it, it ain't real. But I don't think I 100% feel that way anymore. So, yeah, continue. I'm really curious.
Make this as short as possible. I experienced things. I was a believer. I dove into it. And when I dove into it too much, it started affecting my real life. I brought things home. It was freaky. Like it started affecting other people around me. So I had to put a block. I had to block things off. I had to step away from it and put this wall up, because I started realizing that I have this connection that I can tap into. And I don't put enough effort into honing that skill to manage it.
Unsafe.
So I mismanage it, and it becomes this whole jumbled mess of like, okay, now I'm experiencing all this fucking bullshit, and oh my god,
it's hard. It's sensory overload. There's no way to process it.
So you talk about God, you talk about you didn't leave into that, but now you're kind of like flirting with the idea. But like, if I were to sum it all up, I have no idea what this stuff is. I just know it's there. I don't know its origin. I don't know. I can't attach it to a belief. I can't attach it to dimensions or realms or religions or whatever. Mm-hmm. All I know is that it's there.
There's something.
There's something there that I don't understand.
Do you feel like it affects? Do you feel like it affects the outcome of our day, or day to day, or week, or life? Do you feel like that like fate? Fate can be a blanket term for a lot of bullshit, but in all reality, like if there is some sort of like, it's obviously not like a being. There's no God, but like if there is some sort of energy or some sort of like something beyond just like what we see and know that actually has something.
It's funny you say there is no God, but like a being or an energy. When I say it's another version.
We say it. God. When I say God, we mean it's like a physical.
Stay on your mic.
A physical deity, of like.
You're talking about. You're attaching the word God to religion. That's what it sounds like.
I'm attaching the word to like an ominous power. Is what I'm attaching it to. Is something omnipotent that has some sort of control, or maybe not 100%.
You're attaching the word control. I consider whatever God to be, if there is a God. God could be a chemical imbalance in the fucking universe, or whatever there is. I don't know what it is. Do I think it's a bearded man in the sky? No.
So that's what I was.
But it could be anything. I
Yeah.
just don't know what it is, and I'm not going to pretend like I do.
Right now, I understand that, and I guess I just like I said, it's something that's fairly new to me because like I said, I've spent the majority of my life with this fairly strong belief of if it's something I can't see, then it's 99% sure it's not there. It's not real. There's some sort of scientific explanation or some sort of like cohesive explanation that I can understand. But then, I'm 27 and I realize there's some things that I just can't understand, and it's something I've learned to kind of live with. And, and I think what's brought all this on is I wrecked my car over the summer. I flipped my car. And, I've lived a pretty safe life. I don't go around looking for trouble. She thinks I'm a little mouthy, but
Trouble looks for him.
But no, and it doesn't. I've had. I would like to think I've had a fairly uninteresting life, at least in my perspective. I've never been to jail. I don't. I have some speeding ticket. I lost my license for doing something stupid.
As I say, you were
You're
riding dirty there for a while.
But it's not like I don't know. I guess I don't look at it as like this like crazy eventful life, but I've played it fairly safe. I feel like in a lot of my decisions in life. But then I look at like flipping this car. I still to this day I'm not really sure why that happened. Because
it was around the curve. You were going at a pretty reasonable speed, if I remember. 40, 45 tops, truly. And I'm not even sure I was going that fast. Because coming up to this curve where this happened is a spot where I had always taken fairly a lot of caution because it's if I can't see what's coming, I was like it's to take caution, and so I've always been fairly cautious. So do you feel like this moment was like almost like a near death experience?
I mean,
and it kind of opened your eyes to.
I don't know if it was near death. I think it could have killed me. Had it went certain ways, or had it happened where
does that scare you?
No, I don't think so. I think what it is though is I'm just not sure anymore like why things happen. Like I said, I used to think that like everything had its cause and effect, and it was explainable and I could seek the answer, but I don't think I can answer this because like I mean I don't see how I could have went off the road like that and not done any other day. Yeah. I mean, there's it could have been, but
and all we could sit here and do is speculate and think and share theories and thoughts, and hopefully in a respectful manner where we can discuss things and be like, okay, well, there's your opinion, here's mine, cool, we're still friends, right? Hug,
Right. We're gonna actually have a serious argument about this later. No.
We're gonna fight.
That's the problem.
Hit that mute button.
That's the problem. I mean, think of an ant.
Like the animal or like
the little creature, little thing that lives that has
I'm an ant.
has armies and they live in the ground. They can eat sugar and do that stuff.
Yeah.
What does an ant think of a human when they see it?
Oh fuck.
Or like a human with a magnifying glass.
Oh, shit.
Omnipotent.
So what if they perceive anything like that? I don't know how smart or dumb an ant is. But if they perceive something like that and they have an opinion about it, how accurate do you think that opinion is? They're like, oh, that's obviously, a fucking monkey that grew a bigger brain and has evolved to do. No, they wouldn't hit the nail right on the head with exactly what we were. They would look at us like fucking God in the sky or.
This being could
a threat
holds my life in its hands, and
in this moment,
and in any moment near that it could that I see it, I mean, if I were an ant and I seen like I don't go in the woods and fucking provoke a bear and think, like, oh, that's not like.
No, but you would fight a bear if it attacked you.
Yeah.
So like, and that's how the ant sees us.
Yeah.
But like we don't see that bear go home to its cubs. Point is like whatever you assume, whatever that ant assumes, its threats are, probably nothing what those threats are, or whatever that situation is. Like, oh, this thing that just walked past me with this fucking big ass Nike on, like. let's try to figure out what that is. And there could be 1,000 different stories this ant colony, if they thought like humans, would come up with, and none of them.
And I mean,
Maybe one wild one would be accurate.
Just kind of
but
explained organized religions
in a roundabout way, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not even like talking shit about it, because I've always said for years, like, no, I'm not a religious person. I'm not a spiritual person. Or just I wasn't. But like, if it makes you feel, if it makes you feel
fart?
closer to,
Oh, she did fart
she's
lean. I was
tooting
like,
over here.
she's like silent but deadly.
No, I didn't fart.
Right. Oh man,
If I did, you'd know.
that's stinky. But I'm getting fart noises. Hey, how many shows have you had fart noises?
This
on?
is the first. I was about to say.
Mute button fart noises. We're
Yeah,
on.
you guys broke my fart cherry.
I gotta.
Pack it up.
Pack it up, pack it in. Oh,
Let it begin. Isn't that like,
there's a joke there somewhere, but I'm not going to dive into it. So,
what's
yeah,
your favorite scent of incense?
Yeah.
I like to buy different kinds every time.
That's
I like
how
to
I am.
experiment.
I just like to smell them all. Yeah. But
Wild cherry.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I'm not good. I could never play that game.
Yeah.
that's
I can't
Gonesh,
either.
isn't it?
I could honestly smell that. We're like,
I'm gonna
Incense.
learn
Just-
this.
I only know that.
Yeah.
I only know this.
That one
because
smells
this-
good this time.
This smells literally and looks just like a Gonesh wild cherry stick, and that's one of my favorites. Is the
I got
Gonesh
it
wild
from
cherry.
Kroger. So,
Yeah, then it's the Gonesh.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that
Geo.
smells nice.
Yeah. And patchouli is my. I like the earthier smells, the hippie scents,
Hippie scent.
patchouli and whatnot, Nag Champa.
So I used to be religious
Yeah.
when I was younger.
So did I. I mean, I think if we're going that way, I used to go to church, if that's what you mean. Like, I tried religion, on for size.
Well, I was the reason my parents got saved as Christians.
What do you mean, like when you were born, or like a different event?
No. Like I was 13 or maybe 15, and I was really into God.
Okay.
About all the God swag, and I was really just being tribal, trying to find a clique that would accept my weird ass mind, and those guys accept everyone. So like I was like totally
Some
in.
of them.
They accept anyone to morph them.
Yeah, they accept anyone willing to conform.
That's a better word. Thank you.
No, you hit the nail on it. Morph is a good one too.
Well, I don't like to judge people because I think people need religion.
Some people. That's what I was kind of getting at earlier. Some people do. Sadly, I mean, some people need it because they don't have a moral compass, and some people need it because they just don't have the strength and and that helps carry them. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think there's any. I think some people have it just because it's like a warm blanket.
Yeah.
I mean, there's genuine people that treat people good all the time, and they feel like they're going to be rewarded, and they might be. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that because there's nothing bad coming from that.
There's
that instance.
There's a medium that I like to follow. Her name is Amy Allen, and she I don't really pay attention to mediums. I think a lot of them are bullshit.
I agree.
But there's certain things I look for, and it's people being reserved, reluctant to talk about it, or just very like
It signals a better understanding of what they're dealing with, as opposed
they
to
don't seem so
the commercial
commercial.
people trying to profit. The carpetbaggers.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And when I first came across this medium, I thought she was a hoax. And then I started diving more into podcasts and stuff that she would do, and she was just very nonchalant about. She was like, "Well, I don't like to discuss that. I'm not going to talk about that." Like stuff that most mediums would be like, "Oh, here's my
we
opinion."
talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and she said something once that has stuck with me. And somebody asked her, well, since you obviously you can see the dead, because she's one of those mediums, like she'll drive by houses and she can tell you how many dead people were attached to those houses, or areas or what have you. And she's truly haunted by it. But they're like, what is life after death? Which religion is right? What religion do you believe?
Oh.
And she refused to answer the question. She goes, I'm not going to tell you what I believe. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She goes, but from what I can tell is you pave the way for your own afterlife. If you live a good life and you do, like, you die with a good conscience, pretty much whatever you thought was going to happen, your reward will kind of happen in that way, But if you bring these things with you, these regrets, the
bad decisions,
the bad decisions, the not letting go, all these things, then you also bring that with you,
it becomes your own hell.
Right. And she's very reluctant to discuss religion itself, which God is right or whatever. But she pretty much just said, you create your own heaven and hell. And that's something that's always stuck with me. It's the one thing that I'm mostly concerned about. Like I'm not scared of dying. I'm just scared of bringing bullshit with me when I do. You know what I mean? That's my thing, That's what I'm worried about.
If dying is truly freedom, we can't be freedom if we don't let go of all the shit weighing us down in life,
Letting go and genuinely trying to be better,
Right.
I've been to a few mediums.
Yeah. What's your opinion on this whole
I
thing?
believe in everything. I see things sometimes.
Yeah.
It depends on what
Like
I
what?
let in.
If you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to, but
A lot of stuff happened when I lived at the facility.
yeah.
I would see children,
Weird.
but
At a that's
A lot of times I
it took
thought
me a
it-
second, but now I'm more curious.
a lot of times I thought it was like people messing with me when I was living there. But I would see children run playing.
I wonder if it's the ghosts of the elderly.
Yeah, that's
what-
what
that's
I
where I
get.
went.
But we had a lot of people. When I saw them, we had people like pass. So I wonder if that's one way they pass.
What's the happiest memories you think you can ever hold?
Childhood,
Probably most people it's probably childhood. I mean, how much
I
carefree
hope
can
no
you
one
be?
at work
other
listens
than-
to this. They're all gonna think I'm nuts.
Whatever. Who cares what they
But
think?
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. This day and age, with people, flat earthers out there, I don't think it matters if you believe in ghosts. You know what I mean? I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
You could believe Donald Trump's a great president, and people will just
Really, Joe? You're gonna go there?
had to go
oh
there.
God.
But
I don't give a fuck who the president is.
Me.
yeah, I think I kind of summed my opinion up earlier with the government isn't really like for us. They're making us fight against each other for them. So.
Now,
Currently.
the idea wasn't supposed to be that, but anyway, back to Bonnie. So you went to visit some mediums, and what was that? I've actually never, I have an aunt who's a medium, and I've never, and she predicted my father's death, and I've never.
The first medium I went to was just like a woman in Reynoldsburg that had just a shop. And the only thing that I really remember from that, and I mean, I was probably like 16 at the time, was that I wouldn't have children until my 30s.
How old are you now?
I'll be 28 next month. And
2 years
then,
to
right? And then
30s could be like
when I
38.
went the next time, I went to there's an expo in Columbus that's called the Gift of Light. and it's literally just an expo of all these different mediums.
The Light
They have-
Expo.
Yeah, Gift
I've
of
been
Light.
there.
Yeah, I went there and
Had a picture of my aura taken. It was fucking a jip.
a lady named Chi Chi. And I walked around the whole place like twice, and she's the only one that I looked at that I was like, I have to go to her. And I mean, she described, okay, I'm a country girl, so I'm blue jeans, hoodie, cowboy boots. I went in there with skinny jeans, a black hoodie, like high top Converse. Like I went my polar opposite, and she could describe the tattoo on my foot.
Yeah.
And the reason why I have a blue heart on my foot. She described, and then like Joey came, and she described exactly. She said, "Oh my gosh, he's so tall, and he's got this high voice, and he's just so ornery." And I'm like, okay, like, just talked about my grandpa. My grandma came through, and I mean, it gives me peace. So if you don't believe it, that's okay. But like having someone look you in your eyes and say, you know, you have fertility issues, but nobody knows about it. And me to be like, this was like a month, like me and Robert had talked about wanting children. And to have her say, don't worry, you're going to be all right. It's just not, the time. And I was like 22, 23. She talked about my grandma a little more. More things that like would connect her. But I have recordings of all them. I went to her twice. But it was like 2 years in between, I think.
And when you go to her, like, what are you looking for exactly? Like, are you looking for for her just to tell you what you already know about your tattoo, or are you looking for like what people are around you that aren't around anymore, or like maybe future?
I try to go
instances?
in with just a completely open mind of whatever comes is going to come. But most of the time it's my past loved ones. And just until you go to one that's actually legit, you won't believe in it.
Yeah.
Robert went to one. He was a skeptic.
No, I've never been to one. I believe in them. Like, I thought I was one for a while just because I had a hard time deciphering the information I was getting. And I think maybe if I honed that skill, I probably could have been one. But like, but yeah, I'm too scared of it.
Last time I went, I had a card reading, and it was pretty interesting stuff. But that's personal.
I think I'd like to talk to my grandma, or at least, talk
Like,
to someone a median, through my grandma.
I went right after
Then
we got
go
married.
Go see Bonnie's medium then.
You should come, like, next time we go.
I would say for a thing like
I'm not
this,
against it.
see, thing like this, a
Would've been a
recommendation to a friend is probably the best way to go.
Yeah, you're probably right. Not against it.
One thing that, like, they talked, like, when my grandma came through, I asked if she was at my wedding. And she said, she looked at me weird, and she's like, she said she was there with bells on. The lady that took care of my grandma, that took her to the doctors and stuff, that's what she wrote on her SVP. Was that she would be there with bells on. Fuck.
How's it taste?
Foamy.
And once you fork that back up, there you go. It's fine. I used that phrase yesterday.
Foamy?
No, I'll be there with bells on.
Sorry.
Foamy?
My bad.
Yeah, I was talking about a poo bad. Yeah, don't worry about it. But anyway.
Bells?
Wow. For anybody listening with headphones, I swear to God, I'm super apologetic for that god awful noise you just heard in the microphone.
All right. That was a good one.
But yeah, I just use that term. yesterday.
Hmm.
But like, so you stand by this medium.
Mm-hmm.
Like is
Yeah.
she easy to like? Is she local? Well, I mean,
I
you got her at the Light Fest. She could be anywhere.
I
Or the
found
Light
her on social media.
Expo.
I feel like she's out of Chicago. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was way out.
Does she do phone calls?
I don't know. I've only
Let's
seen
call
her
her.
face to face. But I mean, she has a website,
Let's call her. Yeah, I can hook her through the board. Here.
right? Be like,
Can
hey.
you?
She's a very
so.
sweet lady.
That's pretty cool, actually.
I have pretty good intuition. Like, I sense stuff all the time.
Like what?
I don't know.
She knew I was going to wear this shirt today.
What's that?
She knew I'd wear this shirt.
I knew you'd wear flannel. Ooh. I don't know. I guess I'm just good on picking up on people.
I've always found myself to be pretty good at like reading people. I don't know if that has anything to do with spirituality or not, but I mean, I'm pretty good at reading people. You know, I can usually, for the most part, look at a person, but within a few, I don't know, experience with them, if that means anything, whether it be conversation or just observing them, because I'm a people watcher. Usually, you get a pretty good hone on the type of person someone is, and their, their, I forgot the word I was going to use, but what their plans are, if you will, or what their intents are. Yeah, intentions is the word I was looking for. Thanks. Golly, what would I do without you? Forget words.
Just keep rambling like a madman.
Thank you.
I suck at reading people. Like
Really?
I like to think that I'm good at it because sometimes I can hit the nail on the head. But sometimes I could be so fucking far off.
You gotta be careful with that because you're right. You can't just like. I like to like I always say I can read people, but I don't take those like readings or those because they're truly all assumptions until they're proven. I don't like to take them with too much like seriousness. I don't like to take them in stock because I really do like to let people have their chance to show themselves truly. Because I might have caught someone on a bad day, and that means something. We're all human. I have bad days, probably more than others.
Or even like a bad year. I mean,
Yeah,
you can.
absolutely.
I mean, like the me that you guys met 4 years ago is completely different than. Not completely, but there's a lot of
agree.
a lot of differences in
it's
my
noticeable.
mental state from like if I met you at Barrel Bar like tonight, for a musical event, you and me a different person mentally.
Yeah, there's a lot of noticeable differences. I mean, that's something I can attest to, and I like to think that I've made a lot of changes in my life. And something I've always said is like change is like one of those things. It's like it's gonna happen. People change. You can't say people don't change. Some people don't change because they don't want to, but like anyone willing to change is going to continuously change because that's all life is a continuous changing.
Learning,
Cells.
I think learning.
Our cell, I mean, it starts cellular. Our cells die, and by the time it was like every 7 years, you have a whole new set of fucking cells or something like that.
I don't fucking know.
It's something like that. I'm no scientist, but it's true. Every cell in your body exchanges itself for a new cell. Or dies, falls off, comes out of you in some way.
I was on the floor. Oh,
or becomes something else. It is the dust on your computer. I'm not saying it's
basically what you're saying is you rejuvenate yourself physically as well as emotionally.
Absolutely. It's part of life in every sort of way. It's not just humans. It's your table. It's everything.
Well, it should be that way, but sometimes it's not.
Well, because some people, they deny it, and it makes it hard to change if you ignore the fact that you need to change, or something needs to change,
Word.
That's I don't know. That's a big
Maybe I should start messaging Bonnie more.
Right? I was about to say, yeah, the difference I see is I get ghosted.
No, Bonnie sees it as a personal thing. It's an all around thing. I haven't even talked to my brother in 2
It's
years,
cool,
man.
man.
I feel you.
I get it.
I don't.
Well,
I don't talk to Bonnie unless she talks to me.
Yeah, it goes a lot with everybody.
I was just kidding.
Well, I used to pace the floors around this house because I was
Oh, so he was bored.
no, not out of boredom. I used to pace the floors like a madman, messaging people because I was so. I needed somebody. I needed somebody to talk to. You know, and I appreciate every person that I talk to. I was going through some weird times in the past since I've lived in this area. Yeah, hell, I mean, my whole life's been weird times, but like, just a lot of really lonely times, you know. And I would just, I'd constantly send messages out to people like these flags, and hey, how are you? You know, like, I don't know, like. It was a very lonely time for me. Like I was to the point where like I would like go visit my mom and I would start crying. I'm like, I don't know what I've never been so lonely in my life, you know. And here I am performing in front of all these people all the time, and like as soon as I get off that stage, I don't give a fuck about anybody, you know. Unless like you guys were like people that. Like I've learned to trust, you know, I can kind of be myself around, you know, but like beyond that, like I don't know. It was so weird to be an entertainer and just not feel like I could have anybody there. And so like I would always reach out to like you and like a handful of other people, just people that I would always constantly harass, you know, through messages, you know. And then when I learned to, as I'm learning rather to, I'm gonna fuck this word up, compartmentalize.
I got you.
Ugh, God,
Compartmentalize.
thank you. I can never say that fucking word.
I think you said it right. You just said it really slow. You made it
Yeah, yeah.
a little harder than it needed to be.
Well, I said it like I was spelling it with my brain, you know. You know, but like
brains.
It's something I've always had trouble with. It's like putting things in the place they need to be. Like I'm always really focused on this, or I'm really focused on that. You know, now I'm trying to learn to balance things out a little bit more. You know, like I'm in a lot better mental state than I was 10 years ago. But like 4 years ago, I was just like in this like juggling act of what am I doing? You know, like who can I talk to? Like, I don't know. But now I'm trying to figure this stuff out and like realize I can minimalize, you know, like what's going on in my head all the time, you know. And this podcast is one of those things. It's one of those things where, you know, where I used to get my people feels was like at open mics, and then like I'd meet people like, you know, you and Bonnie and like get my vibe regeneration there, you know. But now like that step back from music, I still desire that. So like now I'm like, this podcast has become that, you know what I mean? Or I'm hoping it's going to be that. That's what I want it to be, is this, you know, where I can sit and bring and just kind of
talk shit.
Yeah, just talk like we would at the bar, you know.
Right.
Yeah, but you know, just
maybe not mentioning as many names. You know?
Right. So I'll have to hit that mute button, and you know when you accidentally get the name correct. Frank.
Thought we weren't using that anymore.
Well, we're
let's call him.
We're about almost 3.5 hours in, so
Lord.
like he wouldn't listen this far anyway.
That's fair. I don't blame him. And I like don't take offense because I don't listen to podcast. Jacqueline loves like podcasts.
Oh yeah,
spoken word things.
It's not for everybody.
And it just I don't know. It bores me.
Yeah.
And I think
used
it's
to bore
a
me.
tension thing, you know. I need stimulus, you know. I need something, you know. Music does that for me, you know, because obviously music it's you know, I can listen to a piece of music and it could be a very simple piece of music, but it's you know, at the very least it's drums, it's bass, it's you know, it's got different parts and it's something to pull apart, it's something to wrap my head around, whereas like sometimes just like listening to a couple people talk, like sometimes can be interesting if I'm trying to learn something, maybe, or I'm specifically interested in something, but usually it's just like, it's not like a fun thing for me. That sounds like learning, and it's just like, well, no, I mean, yeah, but I did listen to, like I said, listen to somebody, the like Reese and Rick, and I like that you did Rick's outside.
Well, they're in warm weather. That's
yeah,
fine.
I know, it's not fair.
But
We should have just set it up in somebody's car.
It just seems like, and what I was kind of like, I wanted to, like I said, 'cause I don't go around listening to podcasts for obviously, so I hadn't really gotten a chance to, I hadn't looked for your podcast or anything. Sorry, so I recently listened to him, and it's really nice because it's just like, I'm like, oh, it's just like he's having, because I want an idea of like what this is going to be like. It's like he's just having like conversation. Yeah. And I was like, because it almost sounded like just conversation at a bar, other than it took 3 hours. I mean, but that's you can't always have at a bar. Not always, sometimes. But like,
I just like to talk to people that mean something. Yeah, that I like to. I want to
converse.
I just want to converse.
Meaningful conversation.
So, but either way, my point is, Bonnie.
Well, then why am
Bonnie.
I here?
Oh, Bonnie.
Miss Humble. As I apologize if you feel miffed by me and my irresponsible way of handling our messages, but well, there is no but. You can't have a true apology that's followed by a but. So I apologize.
Unless you are a but.
But thank you for being there when I needed somebody.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Because a lot of the times I needed somebody too. So
Yeah.
I don't ever need anyone. I'm a
You don't
rock.
need shit.
I'm a rock.
I'll send you a message. You don't even look at it for 4 hours. Fuck you.
That's not true. I'm all right with messages, unless I don't want to look at it. No, actually, sometimes I leave my phone in the car every night. And actually, sometimes that's like really liberating. Actually, sometimes, to be honest with you, it's like sometimes it'll be late, and I'll just realize, oh fudge, I left fudge. Oh fuck, I just left my phone in the car all night, or I just left my phone in the car.
Oh wait,
it's like
YouTube won't approve this video.
Dang approval processes, Zuckerberg. It's liberating to be without that. It's weird sometimes how much a cell phone in the past 10 years has become like it's such a huge part of our lives. Yeah. And I don't like take it for granted because some people look at it and they're like, oh, cell phones, everyone's on their cell phone constantly. Like, yeah, you shouldn't text and drive, you shouldn't be fucking around on your cell phone walking through the grocery store in people's way. But then again, like, if I don't notice something, all I have to do is pull out my phone.
Yeah, it's everything
it's like
the answer to almost every question you ever need is at your fingertips.
Yeah,
it's an amazing thing,
especially for sadly an education system as ours that isn't up to par, and that's about all I'll say about it. Having an encyclopedia in your pocket and everyone of a certain age having that same power, that's a lot. And I think that's also probably a lot of the reason why our world is so confused right now is because everyone has that power to either take in knowledge or take in false knowledge.
Well,
so
I think it's more not even really taking in false knowledge as much as just creating an echo chamber, putting themselves in a situation where they only talk to people that believe the same things that they do. Yeah, so they get stuck in that world, and like anything outside of that world is either the enemy or scary.
Yeah.
So like what you said, leaving your phone in your car, like I've had a few messages of people like, hey, did you delete me on Facebook? Because I'll deactivate my account for a few days, and just kind of let it go, just balance, compartmentalize my life. I fucked you up that time. But it for that same reason, it's liberating. It's something like I don't have to worry about you.
Yeah.
And
when some it's like, especially Jacqueline's got a phone. You know, it's right, and I know it's in the house. You know, I know it's near her. If there is an emergency, someone can get hold of us. You know, I don't need to have my cell phone on me at all times.
Yeah.
You know, it isn't necessary. It's nice. You know, I don't leave home without it. I mean, because that's irresponsible to this day and age. If you can have a phone on you at all times, why the fuck wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
I was pretty irresponsible for
I've been there
a long time. Like
I've been there.
last April was the first time I actually had a active phone for almost 4 years.
I've been in and out. There's been times where I've stopped with the phone.
Everything I had was Wi-Fi. You know, but when I was driving, I had no service, and I liked it. I enjoyed it, and you start noticing people constantly.
Mm-hmm.
When
I
Hate it.
don't mess with my phone while driving. I mean, like very rarely you'll see me with it in my hand, but I like keeping it in my hands-free thing. You know, if I'm touching my
that's
phone,
where I keep my phone.
I'm switching a song, or that's probably my use for phone, or you know, I'm fucking hitting a button on a GPS. You know, that's about it. But you're not gonna see me like this or like this or you know
Or
any
like
of that
this.
or this shit. I swear to God, if I fucking see you texting driving, I'm gonna honk at you. I'm gonna scare
yell
the
at
fucking
people.
shit out of you.
Yeah,
I'm a really aggressive driver. So
I like if I message anything, it's like kind of like urgent. You know, like
Yeah.
okay, like I messaged you guys today, and like you asked what time. You asked me while I was driving home. You know, that's why I was like 6:30. No colon.
Did you
no
voice
nothing.
chat it? Or did you because I'll do that. It's nice because like you know
No, because
if I bring
my,
up
my phone is weird on voice chat. I'm like 6:30 and it would be like pretty purdy. I'm like what the fuck? You know, like so it just turns into a
find
whole bigger
myself-
deal. So it's just
find
easier if I
myself
just press
using that.
630.
yeah, I find myself using that because it's just less buttons. You know, if I feel like I gotta send a text or I want to send a text, you know, like somebody's trying to get a hold of me about something I need to tell them. You know, I'm driving.
Yeah.
Especially since like I said, I deliver groceries. I'm driving a lot during the day when people might be trying to get hold of me. I it's easy. You know, a chat head pops up. You press it. There's like, you know, I press the phone maybe 3 or 4 times to send a message. So press the chat head, press the keyboard, press the microphone button, and speak what I need to say. And it's usually pretty accurate, you know. And I'm not trying to get a book out. I'm trying to say, you know.
Well, like don't get me wrong. When I pressed 6:30 to answer your question, that was like a span of 5 minutes. 6.
I feel that. Cause,
3.
yeah, exactly.
0.
Because you know, you're still keeping your eye on the road, you know.
Right.
But some people, the same people who
And you know
who
me,
text and drive.
you and I, like, you know, riding dirty, that puts you in like a very pristine alert when you're driving.
There's a keen like alertness you get when you're driving without a license. You know where the cops are sitting.
Yeah.
You know the back roads, and you know what's around you at all times.
Yeah, and you know what hours not to drive.
Exactly.
And you know, get off your fucking phone.
And yeah, you know to drive like straight and narrow, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's within 5 of the speed limit, and you know. That's just drive like a fucking old person.
That's what I do. I was about to say I drive
That's
like an
the
old
key.
lady.
That's how I did it. Drive. And it's safe.
How many
I learned from
how many
that.
people pass me on the freeway? I
Oh
give
my
not
gosh,
count.
I wait.
You know what's funny is because like getting my license back, I didn't have such bad road rage when I didn't have a license because I didn't have that luxury.
Yeah.
Because I was illegally driving my vehicle. I couldn't look at this asshole who just cut me off and did something illegal and be like, wow, well, I'm better than you. I'm kind of fucking driving without a license right now. It's like, I'm just going to tuck myself back here and shut up,
Right. Yeah.
Not now.
Riding dirty. No, dude, no. I got
Oh
my license
my.
back. It's been about a year, and I'm just...
You think, listen,
Right back
motherfucker,
to
I
the-
got groceries that aren't mine that need delivered.
I made fun of a lady for eating a donut today. On 16. And in hindsight, she's probably just going about her day eating a fucking donut, normal lady. But I was trying to get on 16 off of Cedar Street. And if you're familiar with 16 through that strip, before each exit, or on-ramp, I should say, there is a sign that says, through traffic, keep left. So, I mean, any intelligent person driving would read that sign and think, I should stay left if I'm not getting off on this next exit. So people getting on don't have to deal with, it makes it easy for them.
Right.
It's literally what the sign's for,
Well, I mean, you should get over when...
Right. Although, and a lot of people use this, it's not, you don't have to. No, you don't have to. The reason you don't have to is because sometimes it's unsafe. if there's, 2 lanes of packed traffic coming down, like, the yield sign on the on-ramp is because of that, because you're going to have to yield to these, you're going to have to find your own way in at this point. But if you can easily let someone over, do it. This lady could have easily let me over. Didn't. So there's me, there's like 3 of us. I was in the middle of 2 other cars trying to get on a highway. She doesn't let me over. I squeeze in. I get up. I go in to pass her. And as I'm passing her, I realize she's shoving a fucking donut down her throat. Like I think she's eating a plastic too, it looked like. The plastic you grab the donut, the Krispy Kreme out of, And she's like just shoving it down her throat, like practically like.
Oh my God.
Like that's all she was doing. Like, ah. So I like looked over and I'm like, damn, I slowed down a little bit and I just like that. I'm doing like donut motions. Shoving donut down my throat. Like
wait.
That's not what I
motions?
saw. That's not what I saw.
These nuts.
Use your imagination.
I mean, with the illustration you just showed us was something I would see on bathroom walls, I would imagine.
So she sees me, which I thought was funny. She looks over and she's just like gives me this nasty look and like puts her donut down to give me the finger. Everything.
Oh man, who puts that? I would have just stuffed it in my mouth and held it.
Right. I would have put the donut over my finger, like through the hole.
I think it was cream filled, but
even better.
Stuck it in that hole, cream hole. But
well, listening to you complain about this lady in the on ramp is the most dad conversation I think I've had with you all day.
I get real serious about the on ramps, man. I mean, and at the end of the day, driving's dangerous as hell. Driving is probably the most dangerous thing humans do on a daily basis.
On a daily basis,
right?
Yeah.
Obviously, humans jump out of planes and shit. Not this year.
Or just fly in planes,
but
which is
flying in planes is way more safer than driving a car.
Well, statistically because
of the number of planes that go in the air.
So here's the thing with that. The lower the risk, planes are safer than cars. True, but every time you get into an accident in a car doesn't mean you're going to die.
Right.
95% of the time you get into an accident with a plane, you're going to die.
It's true.
So yes, their incident
perspectives.
their incident rate is lower, but the mortality,
right.
The people that survive crashes from planes is also a lot lower.
A lot fewer of those dudes out there.
Yeah.
Wonder why. I guess where I was kind of coming from is I don't get in a plane every day. I don't get in a plane every month. I don't get in a plane every year. And I would say the majority of Americans will just clump in American, because there's nobody else outside the walls of America, which they just stopped building.
Well, no, they're invisible walls now.
Well, they were starting one. Anyway, but most of us probably don't fly, but once a year or less. I know I don't, and I know a lot of people I know, don't fly that often.
I haven't been on a plane since Seth was like 5.
It's probably been a similar amount of time for me. I think it's actually it's been just about 10 years. I went the first time I was ever on a plane, the last time I was ever on a plane was 2011, right after graduate high school. So yeah, it's been about 10 years almost. So I mean, I would say, there's obviously those Americans who are on the planes all the time, but we average it out. I'd say most Americans probably are on a plane, but every once a year or less.
Well, the point is that planes don't crash that often,
right?
But when they do,
right,
mostly people die, just all the time,
right? And,
just like driving in a car, when you're getting to an accident, the freeway, there's less accidents. But when they happen, they're more dangerous.
Exactly.
That's pretty much how that equation is. It
just blows.
The lower mind. The risk, the more the incident. The higher the risk, less incident.
Yeah, it just blows my mind how nonchalant some people are about driving. Mm-hmm. I take it pretty seriously. I think I'm a pretty good driver, and it may not seem always like I'm real serious about it, but when there's someone else in the car, I actually take it pretty seriously. I take their safety really seriously. Trust me. I mean, it may not seem like it because I guess I drive wild and I don't realize it, but I mean, I really truly have the safety of whoever's in the car like tip top.
Yeah, I wouldn't get in
Even
the
above my
car
own.
with you if I felt unsafe.
But I get it. I think it's just because that's probably how my dad drives like an asshole without a license. Yikes, he's scary, man. But he's been driving without a license since I was born. Since before I was born.
Wow.
Yeah, he's gotten used to it. He just doesn't give a shit. He's like, I don't know, man. He just drives like a dick anyway. I don't know. He speeds. He rarely gets caught.
The only complaints I ever get for my driving is because I go so slow on the freeway because I drive like you, like an old man.
I don't do that anymore.
Oh, I will always drive like an old man.
Same.
I've always loved driving. I've always been, I'm a bit of a gearhead. I like to drive. Driving's like a release for me. It's something if I'm having a bad day, I can get in a car and take a ride, and that's partly why I like doing the delivery. Because that part of the job I really enjoy, like driving around, the countryside or wherever the city. I don't give a shit. I like to drive. I get to listen to tunes, whatever. But sometimes I guess I just get moving, and I don't realize it's me because I know I feel safe, but you put me in a passenger seat, it's a different story. Like all that time without my license, Jacqueline did a lot of driving because
I remember I rode with you and Jacqueline once, and you're cop up ahead to the left, like you were kind of like backseat driving her, to where I forget where we were going.
And part of it is because my anxiety of being in a car and not being in control.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Like if Anya is driving, I'll be like.
And it's
Do you
Jacqueline's
see
a
that
fine
cop?
driver too.
Half a mile up
And
the road,
looking at her, her gauge, see how fast she's going.
Oh, dude, always because
You're going
she's
like
a speed
40,
demon.
and Jacqueline is too. Jacqueline's a bit of a speeder, but she's a pretty good driver. I feel most confident in her driving. It's just that like when I get into that passenger seat, there's a switch that I can't unclick. It seems like where I can't trust you. I can't trust your driving. I'm not gonna trust your driving. I'm not gonna trust that person's driving. Sorry, no.
Yeah,
but like you put me in the driver's seat, I
think they call that triggered. I think you get triggered somehow.
You put me in the driver's seat, and I just assume everyone's going to accept my driving as safe because I know I'm safe. At least you know what I mean. Like
second most dad thing you've said.
Well, it's the truth though. It's how I feel. Like
I just know that when I'm in a car, people know that like I'm the best driver. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's how I feel. Like, it's not true. I guess the point I'm getting at is like I feel like they should be, but in all reality, most people I guess don't think I'm a great driver. My son's mom, Carly, used to always give me hell about you're a horrible driver. Because she was blatant as hell about everything. It's probably why we didn't work out is because we butt heads because she wasn't afraid to fucking tell me what she thought. She thought
she was you.
Yeah, she thought I was a horrible fucking driver.
I
thought I wasn't. So it was like, well, fuck you. No, I'm a great driver.
But she called you out, and that's what you do. You do that to other people.
That's
my son's mom and I were. She's me with a vagina. I'm her with a penis. Like
it's kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah. We're like the same fucking person,
Yeah.
and I could never date myself. Like I would leave myself immediately, except for the sex. But that
So that's what you get you. Because when you find
when you meet
someone,
because we're both passionate at the
you
right
meet
time.
someone who's so like you. They have the same sex.
Yeah, our penises are the same size. This is really great.
Wow, it just fits just right. Heard that before.
If I had a nickel, I could have. Just know it was a conscious decision to not be completely silent after you said that, and just let you just hear that echo in your own brain.
Thanks.
All right, guys. I think I'm gonna wrap this up.
For sure.
Yeah, it's been a great
night. We've been talking about all sorts of wild stuff.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Bonnie didn't have. I think she was. I think she felt a little left out there at the beginning.
Well,
it happened.
We kind of went down a few holes there. I think that were more on our spectrum of of the interest.
Right, I just talked about sad things.
Common interest. And
He's flipping through the thesaurus right now. Yeah, thank you guys. I needed this laugh. Like I've had a very stressful week, so this is one of the reasons why I do this, because this is my people time now. This is so. Yeah, maybe I'll hit you guys up. Bring it back separately for no other reason than just to like
to see where we can go from.
Because now like I want to dive into both your heads.
Oh God.
I'll be honest. I would really like to come back and do it like a one-on-one, and I'd like to see your guys' one-on-one. Or here, I should say, since it's not a visual thing yet.
But yeah, it will be, but probably not for a while.
Either way, just
let
us know.
Either until I can
so
afford my own
PJs.
2 nice cameras, or somebody will buy me 2 nice cameras.
Well, just ask someone to borrow. Like, hey, Chase, Gilroy, can I borrow your cameras?
Nope,
I was
like
kidding
borrow.
about that.
I don't like to borrow
borrowing's
shit.
not a good thing.
I like to have shit.
Not when it's like expensive equipment too.
Well, I like having my own shit. Like,
no, I don't blame you there.
if I borrow something, it's because it's an emergency. But I'm not gonna borrow something just because I can.
Right. I could.
I'll make. Trust me, I've been doing everything on YouTube through this fucking phone and through this computer. Like, I do what I can with what I got, so I'm pretty okay with that.
If it works, it works.
All right, rumors. Well, you guys will be in Troy. What's the place called?
The Moeller Brew Barn.
The what?
Moeller Brew Barn.
The Moeller Brew Barn on March 18th, Thursday from 8 to 10.
9 to 10.
I'm just...
It's not all there, man.
For details, hit up Bonnie Humble on Facebook.
Or the rumors page.
Yeah, the rumors page.
You never know who you get.
Like us.
Now it's just rumors, because there is a pretty
rumors.
popular Columbus band called The Rumors.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, well, trust me, they know about you.
Do they? That's good.
Anya was telling me the other day.
No way.
She's friends with the members.
Yeah.
Or at least 1 or 2 or 3. I don't fucking know. And she was telling me that they came across, they somehow heard about you guys, and they're like, that can get confusing. And she kind of told them, like, well, first of all, they're like a heavier band,
Right.
and a band, a full band.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like we knew there was something at Columbus. There's also like a Fleetwood Mac cover band from, I think, more northern, but somewhere
Like Sandusky.
Sandusky, I think it was. Yeah. Who are? I think they are just rumors, but they spell it. Like, say we pulled that from Fleetwood Mac, but they spell theirs with the second U, RUMOURS.
Rumors.
Right, very English. We don't. Because of that. Because of the other bands. Who were spelling it the English way. We decided we'll remove the second U, make it our own. Because it's
And I looked up rumors, and there was nothing up. I did know. I think I did know that there was the rumors.
Yeah,
but I don't think
they're
realized
they're like an in this moment type of band, like just very metal-y.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they were like.
Once you switch genres, it's a kind of a big difference.
Well, we won't step on your toes if you don't step on ours.
Yeah, if you don't do country, you won't do metal.
We won't put we.
You hear that? The rumors. Back off the country duo bullshit that y'all trying to pull.
We hate when people call
you
us
just got the snap.
the rumors anyway.
No, right,
we get that a lot, and we like.
Well, maybe your first album should be called No The.
No the.
Ooh. Nah.
Well, thank you for at least entertaining the idea for my.
I sure did.
For my own.
It was a great idea. I just don't know if it's.
It's stupid. It's a dumb idea. It's not a great idea. That's a very dumb idea.
Not at all what I was getting at, but
unless like you did like lowercase k, lowercase w, but like big N-O, no rumor or no the. Good night, everybody. All right, we're done. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.